This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. What's going on? Everybody, don't have the music queued up. Well, it was, but it didn't play, so now it'll come in. But how's everybody going? Or doing? Let's see. And by the way, if you're a channel member, make sure that you go watch that interview that I played for channel members only earlier. It's pretty interesting. There's like 3 different suspects, maybe. It's kind of wild. And then there's a part 2 coming up at some point. Alright, but hey, I learned on that live how easy it is for, if you're a moderator and you have a cell phone, how easy it is to put somebody on timeout or block them or whatever. It's crazy. All you do is, like, if you accidentally click on a name and you're not paying attention, it just, like, basically you hit anything and it does that. So unless you said something absolutely crazy, just assume it's an accident. Like if you said, boy, I had a great glass of milk earlier, and all of a sudden you get blocked, you know, it's probably was an accident. They'll fix the being blocked. Yeah, and also, Mary Lou, it's time for you to sing Happy Birthday for Regina.
Me? Oh God, I have to do it again. Jeez, oh God.
Yes, Mary Lou, you sing Happy Birthday for people.
Okay, here we go. Happy birthday, dear Regina. Happy birthday, dear Regina. Happy birthday, dear Regina. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Wow, you got some booze in there, Mary Lou. You got some booze.
Well, screw them, I sang that really well.
Well, I thought you did sing it pretty well, but people still were booing, okay?
Gee.
Oh boy, here we go, here we go. Yep. That dang Mary Lou, every single time, huh? It's crazy. Yep. Yeah, it looked like Blue hurt his back or something earlier. Oh, I called him in from outside and he came walking in and he was just, you know, and then I put him outside the front and a couple dogs came over and he seemed like he perked up a little bit and then his, he took a poop. And then he came back inside and he looked like he was still not feeling that great, but I think it's just like he throws his back out every once in a while. Like father, like Blue, right? Yeah, he doesn't, whenever he doesn't feel good, it doesn't look good at all. He's just heads down, ears sort of sideways, you know. He even turned down a piece of chicken. Then he walked away, and then he went, screw that, I gotta have something. So he had a couple bites of little pieces of chicken. But yeah. So anyways, you guys should go watch the interview so that you're up to speed, because then I'm sort of editing out stuff, and then I'll put it all together and put it out there on the regular for everyone to see at some point. And then, heck, maybe she'll come on sometime. All right, so you guys, a lot of people haven't seen this press conference right here. This is the one where they revealed the original sketch. Like, put a 1 if you haven't seen the one where they revealed the first sketch. It's not really the original sketch, but it's the first sketch that they put out there. So if you haven't seen it, put a 1 in there. This is the one where they reveal it. And you kind of learn a little bit about it. Oh, and I spoke to message with Tim Miller, and he said he'd come on sometime. That's pretty cool. See what he has to say. We can bring up a whole bunch of different cases. I don't know. Whatever he wants to talk about. Yeah. I thought he was looking pretty good. I bet he's feeling better now than he did before. Because, when you get blockages like that, it takes a while and you're sort of not feeling that great. And then, man, as soon as you get those cleared up, you're like, yeah. I thought he looked better in that ABC interview than he has in a long time. Yeah, that would be. I've interviewed him before, just not in person. I mean, like, he wasn't live. I interviewed him over the phone and recorded it. All right, so here's the original press conference. This actually took place in July. I think it was, let me see. July... Where the hell is that? Yeah, it was July 17th of 2017. At least that's when it was in an article. All right, you guys ready to watch it? Here we go. I fixed the audio, and it was only coming out of one channel, and it was one channel and a little bit low on some of the stuff, so it might be a little bit of but you should be able to hear it.
We all here? Okay. Good morning. Thank you for showing up. Basically, as you all know, we have sent you out an email with 2 photos in it. We would like you to put both those photos in those when you talk about this case. We want the original photo that was put out earlier, and we also want the composite photo. So please, when you're putting out your information, we would like all that on there, please. Introduce a few people that are standing behind me before we get started here. You got Lieutenant Tom McKee from the Indiana State Police Post at Lafayette, Tony Liggett, sorry, from the Carroll County Sheriff's Department. I'll get to this right here in a minute. Kevin Hammond from the Carroll County Sheriff's Department. Jerry Holman from the Indiana State Police, detectives out of the Lafayette State Police Post, and Tony Slocum, he's a public information officer out of the Peru Post. We're here to talk a little bit about the release that was put out. So I'm just basically going to open it up to questions. I will tell you now that most of the information that you have in the news release is about all that can be released at this time. So there's not going to be anything else real exciting, I guess would be the word, that's going to be put out there. But I'll be
and yet he did reveal stuff.
more than happy to take questions, and we'll go from there.
How did artists develop this sketch? Was the sketch made with the help of eyewitness or eyewitnesses, or was it made solely from the other picture we've seen so often?
Basically, I can't really answer that question completely. I can tell you it came from the investigation itself, from officers looking into things.
I think what we found out later that it was a combination of a witness and the actual image, the still frame from the video.
To tips and leads that come in, that people that have come forward, we've got information from there, and the composite was put together with that information.
Why release the sketch today? Did it just get finished? Have other people already seen this, including the family? Now it's just the right time to release it?
This picture was released at this time because that's when we felt that it needed to come out. The information needs to be put forward, and we wanted to get it out there so people can look at it. And it has just taken a while to get this thing put together.
Yeah, why does that matter? Donor Ketty. Yeah, there was a press conference 2019 on the anniversary, and then 2 months later they released the new sketch that they were going to go in that direction. I mean, so what, you know?
And that's why it's taken so long to get the picture out.
In the realm of evidence and leads that you have, how big is this photograph? How much are you counting on this artist sketch or the photograph of the sketch?
I mean, it's like anything else in a case. Anytime we get something new or some information out there, we always feel it's important to the case. We feel this is very important.
The anniversary sketch, the anniversary press conference on 2019 was really to introduce the new prosecutor. That's what that was about.
Important because it actually gives a better view of the person in the picture that you see down below. It shows a little more facial features, gives you a little more information on what's we're looking at, who the suspect might be, and that's why we feel it is very important that this picture's out there at this time.
What's so striking about this? What is the thing that investigators look at and say, wow, that's the thing that's going to make this guy stand out from all the other men walking around?
It's basically just a clear picture of his face compared to what you saw down below. We've got the information out there, the pictures out there. Now we got this composite that we feel that is the same. We feel it is the same person, and we just want to make sure that people realize that picture is this person. We're hoping, and that they can get that picture and take that picture and get us some information on a possible suspect.
How confident are you that is accurate?
We're pretty confident. The information that was received, with that information, we've been able to put that together. Again, this thing wasn't drawn up overnight. We've been working with this picture and with the suspects that the witnesses that we have that would put this together. So it's not something that we did overnight. This has taken a while to put together.
Those witnesses, did they see them in the area, or did they call the tip line with that information?
I really can't go into that because we don't want to compromise the case itself.
But when you say witnesses, so multiple people were able to help you out with this?
There was people that were able to help us out with this, yes.
Okay.
So a lot of people will say you guys are releasing this now because you've run out of leads. That's not true in this case, right?
No, we're still getting anywhere from 5 to 10 tips a day. We're still getting emails, so it's not something that is just, this case is not dried up. It's not a cold case. This case is still very active.
And if you didn't have those tips, we may never have seen this picture in the first place, right?
The possibility, yes.
What's the attitude of the troops working on this? I mean, the fact that there's a composite that's infinitely clearer than the picture we've been looking at. I mean, what's the move? What is the feeling among investigators who've been grinding away at this for 5 months now?
Well, anytime you get new information, officers are always excited about that information. It kind of builds up their confidence on the case itself. With this information here, we're really, it really excites them, lets them know that, people are still caring about this case, that people are still interested, and when we can get somebody to come forward with more information, if we can get a name or at least a location of this subject, that would be great. But officers have never really gotten down on this case. I think they've frustrated maybe, but as far as solving this thing, it's something that's never we've always felt like we were going to solve this case.
Who made the sketch? ISP? Did you guys bring somebody specific in here to talk to those witnesses to come up with the exact look of this person? Or
It's basically just been a accumulation of all the departments have come together and we've put this composite together.
Yeah, he kind of admits
During the
it's a
release, you
female.
talk about not to focus on the hat. It might not be accurate. Can you talk a little bit about that so people
He admitted it's a female.
at home know why?
Well, if you see the original picture down below, it appears that he's got a hat on that's got the flaps down over the, kind of down over the face. We want to make sure that you focus on the picture. We want to make sure the face is what you're looking at and not to worry about the hat. Even though that hat is not quite the same as the one in the picture, we want the facial features is what we want you to look at.
If someone did recognize this person, what should they do?
They can call they can call the tip line or they can email us.
In the release, you mentioned some of exactly like his hair color and things like that. Can you talk about that information that you put in the release right now?
Basically, the hair color is a reddish brown. She was, or the person was not clear on the color.
See that? She was, and then, oh, I mean the person. You see that? He literally, he literally said she, and then went, oh, I mean the person. So he knew what was going on there.
Of the eyes, but the person said it.
He did it twice even. So now you know for sure. Yeah. So listen, if you're shouted out on the channel that was a little bit like minibus, that should be something that you should hang your head low down on. That entire, it's insane over there. Okay. That's all I can tell you.
Was definitely not blue. She was very the person was very
This is the part I keep telling you guys about right here.
Is a reddish brown. She was, or the person was not clear on the color.
I think 3 times.
Of the eyes, but the person said it was definitely not blue.
See that part right there? The color of the eyes, they're just definitely not blue. See, to me, that means that they're hazel. Okay? The way they're wording this. Because if you had dark brown eyes, it would be pretty obvious. Oh, they've got dark eyes, right? This person just knew that they weren't blue. Okay? They were more of the sort of hazel variety, a little bit like Kim Riley here. Maybe even a little bit more gray looking.
She was very the person was very obvious that it was not blue eyes.
See, they just knew for sure they weren't blue.
Talk about that information that you put in the release right now.
Basically, the hair color is a reddish brown. She was, or the person was not clear on the color of the eyes, but the person said it was definitely not blue. She was very, the person was very obvious that it was not blue eyes, but they did mention that they were not clear on which color it was.
So there are people out there who are sure that they saw this guy walking around that day and they helped you out. Is that fair to say? Okay.
Pretty much that's what it is, yes.
Those people come forward right away, or did it take a little bit of time for those people to come forward?
It's been a while. It took a little bit. People are scared, they're afraid to be recognized by the subject. So it just takes a while for these things to happen. Like I said, the picture didn't come overnight. We've been working on this for a while.
Do you think this guy is still around the Delphi area? Do you think he's in a different state?
That's what I hope this is all about.
We've heard many times that somebody out there probably knows something and is really driving home the point today to make sure you call, no matter how little it may be, even especially if you recognize this person.
That's what we want. We want people to call in, give us information. Anybody that can give us an identification on this subject or knows where the subject might be, that would be great. We would appreciate any information we can get.
So still have that voice, now you have an even closer up picture, and you have this other. So 3 really pieces of solid evidence that you have that people can work with. So that's got to be big development today for the community and for the
That is correct. We're really excited about the information that's being put out there. The detectives and all the investigators who are involved are just basically waiting for the phone rings.
Will any more information or video be released from the cell phone that Libby had that day?
I'm not going to comment on that. I don't want to compromise that case.
Just to be clear, do you know this man's identity and you're not releasing it, or you don't know this guy's identity?
We want to know who he is.
Okay.
Do you think someone in Carroll County, and I know you said that's the point of today, but do you think somebody around this area knows who he is and will possibly call in?
We're hoping somebody knows from wherever. We don't care where it's from. We just want to be able to find somebody that can identify this subject and give us the information on him.
Any search warrants that are going to come now that you've released this person's picture, anything else developing after you put his picture out there today?
Well, we got to just do the investigation at that point in time and see what happens. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yep. It's all right in there.
Is a reddish brown.
Reddish
She
brown.
was, or the person was not clear on the color.
I wonder how they know the reddish brown. Because the thing that you see isn't his hair.
Of the eyes, but
I guess that was from the witness.
the person said it was definitely not blue. She was the person was very obvious that it was not blue eyes, but they did mention that they were not clear on
Hey, thanks, Kathy Fredmaker. I thought that the button was broken.
which color it was.
So there are people out there who are sure that they saw this guy walking around that day and they helped you out. Is that fair to say? Okay.
Yeah, pretty much that's what it is, yes.
Okay.
Those people come forward right away, or did it take a little bit of time for those people to come forward?
It's been a while.
Oops. Not sure what happened right there. Oops. Went on to a whole different page.
It took a little bit. People are scared, they're afraid to be recognized by the subject. So it just takes a while for these things to happen. Like I said, the picture didn't come overnight. We've been working on this for a while.
Do you think
Yeah, no, it isn't bow and arrow. You're wrong. Okay.
this guy is still around the Delphi area?
Sound like
Do you
one of
think
those
he's in a
nut
different
jobs.
state?
That's what I hope this is all about.
We've heard many times that somebody out there probably knows something and is really driving home the point today to make sure you call, no matter how little it may be, even especially if you recognize this person.
That's what we want. We want people to call in, give us information. Anybody that can give us an identification on this subject or knows where the subject might be, that would be great. We would appreciate any information we can get.
So still have that voice, now you have an even closer up picture, and you have this other, so 3 really pieces of solid evidence that you have that people can work with, so that's got to be big development today for the community and for the
That is
family.
correct. We're really excited about the information that's being put out there. The detectives and all the investigators who are involved are just basically waiting for the phone rings.
Well, any
See, the lady probably said something like, "Well, his eyes they're light, but I just know that they weren't blue."
more information or video be released from the cell phone that Libby had that day?
I'm not going to comment on that. I don't want to compromise that case.
Thanks,
Just to
Gary.
be clear, do you know this man's identity and you're not releasing it, or you don't know this guy's identity?
We want to know who he is.
Okay.
Do you think someone in Carroll County, and I know you said that's the point of today, but do you think somebody around this area knows who he is and will possibly call in?
We're hoping somebody knows from wherever. We don't care where it's from. We just want to be able to find somebody that can identify this subject and give us the information on him.
Any search warrants that are going to come now that you've released this person's
No.
picture, anything else developing after you put his picture out there today?
Well, we got to just do the investigation at that point in time and see what happens.
See, like Matt just asked, "Hey, do you guys think the crime scene was staged in order to mislead the detectives?" Well, tell me what evidence is out there that allows us to answer that question. Just seriously. What's out there to help us answer that question? Nothing. Hey, thank you, Angela Vincent. I mean, it's just one of those nebulous questions that just has no way of being answered. Why would anybody even think that? I would think you were weird if you said, "I do. I think it was staged." Well, how? Where are you getting that from? See, that's the kind of crap that we don't do here. Thanks, Angela Vincent. All right. So anyways, you guys want to hear the next time when they release the next sketch? That's the one with Carter here. So we've got both times where the sketch was released. Man, this guy looks exactly like this that YouTuber that does the China videos. That's crazy. Looks just like him. Unbelievable.
How grateful I am. You inspire people that you don't even understand, and you don't even understand why.
Well, hey, Mystical Visions 444, you're a wacko if you believe that. There's nothing that indicates that. It's purely a guess, like a random guess in the middle of nowhere for no reason at all. Yeah, it's just odd. So what? The crime scene was odd. There are three. They said that there are, possibly 3 signatures. So what? How does that mean it was staged to throw law enforcement off? Nothing. If it, and let me tell you this: if it turns out it was, it won't be because you sleuthed it out. It would be pure luck. Okay, that's it. And anybody right now saying, "Oh yes, I think it was," you're a lunatic. Okay.
Information is being released today is the result of literally thousands and thousands of hours of extraordinary investigative efforts by Delphi, Carroll County, the FBI, the Indiana State Police, and countless other agencies. This community surrounded us some 26 months ago, and you did everything you could to support us, but most importantly, you surrounded the family.
That's not true sleuth intuition. Sorry. That isn't true at all what you just typed in.
Of these 2 little girls. Gosh, I'll never forget it. After you hear what we're going to release today, I'm going to ask for your continued support, your continued understanding, your empathy and compassion as we move forward to find out who did this, and we will. We're seeking the public's help to identify the driver of a vehicle that was parked at the old CPS DCS welfare building in the city of Delphi that was abandoned on the east side of County Road 300 North next to the Hoosier Heartland Highway between the hours of noon to 5 on February 14th, 2017. If you were parked there or know who was parked there, please contact the officers at the command post at the Delphi City building.
That's not even close to it.
We're releasing additional portions of the audio recording.
Intuition. That's not a fact at all, sleuth intuition. That's not why they think that at all. They think that they're local because of their knowledge of the area getting around. Okay, so if you're going to type stupid shit like that in here and claim it as a fact, then get the hell out of here, okay? This isn't a good day to be messing around. It's ludicrous, okay?
From that day, please keep in mind.
It was said that. Hey, who said it? Where? Where's the fact? Tell me who said it. Send me an interview with the person saying that. Right, that's what I thought.
The person talking is one person, and is the person on the bridge with the girls.
Now
this is not 2 different people.
Sleuth intuition, you can't do it because it doesn't exist. There is no interview with law enforcement out there that says anything about that. Oh, the signatures led us to believe he was local. Okay, I've interviewed Robert Ives. He's been on other interviews. He's the only one even talking about signatures, and he never said that. Okay, you're absolutely wrong.
People speaking. Please listen to it very, very carefully. We are also releasing video recovered from Libby's phone. This video has never before been previously released.
You're wrong, sleuth intuition. I just told you. I interviewed, for the podcast we did, Morph interviewed Robert Ives, okay? We have it all. Then he did another interview and he talked about the 3, maybe signatures. He never once said that those signatures made him think that he was local, okay? Not one time.
The video shows a suspect walking on the bridge. When you see the video, watch the person's mannerisms as they walk. Watch the mannerisms.
Yeah, he didn't witness anything. He just went to the crime scene. Okay, so again, we got sleuth intuitions just cuckoo, cuckoo.
As he walks.
I need to get that. I need a cuckoo.
Do you recognize the mannerisms as being someone that you might know? Remember, he is walking on the former railroad bridge. Because of the deteriorated condition of the bridge, the suspect is not walking naturally due to the spacing between the ties. During the course of this investigation, we have concluded the first sketch released will become secondary as of today.
So it's secondary.
The result of the new information and intelligence over time leads us to believe the sketch, which you will see shortly, is the person responsible for the murders of these two little girls. We also believe this person is from Delphi, currently or has previously lived here, visits Delphi on a regular basis, or works here. We believe this person is currently between the age range of 18 and 40, but might appear younger than his true age.
Yeah, I think it's so crazy how these stupid-ass trolls, every time there's a Delphi show, they show up. I mean, you guys are so embarrassing. Do you understand that? You guys are the most embarrassing people on the planet. We're just doing another live show because I said that I would dedicate Sundays to cover the Delphi case, and I did one show last week because that was it was being discussed on another channel where my name was brought up, okay, on a large channel. So I cover it every single. Now look at this idiot right here. Oh God. And so what you do is you come on regarding a case of two murdered kids, Abby and Libby, and you turn into trolls. I mean, people just type in whatever they feel like they want to type in. Okay? Yes, we have freedom of speech, but guess what? This is just my channel, so I don't have to allow it. Isn't that great? So it's my choice to not allow every single wacko comment that's put out there. So you got other YouTubers that bash me. Oh, did you see the way Gray treated his subs? Hey, I don't give a shit, man. I don't care who types it in. If you type in stuff that's completely bogus information, then I'm going to respond a certain way. Okay? But all of the subs and the regular channel members, everybody that shows up here all the time, there's days that somebody gets pissed off at something, and then the next day we're all back to normal again talking about something else, okay? It's like a regular family is. You know, when you go to Thanksgiving, you probably get in an argument with Uncle Jim there, or Timmy, and, you get in an argument. And then when you see him at Christmas, you're all good again. Although Christmas, in my case, comes the very next day. Because I'm a present every... Yeah, anyways. And, so the people, for the 8,000th time, that's hard for me to say. Yes, on this channel is monetized, everybody. Hey, it's monetized. But I guarantee it that we've donated more money to the Libby Abbey ballpark than all the other true crime YouTube channels combined. Every single one of them. Because we've donated over $3,000. Okay, so if you can name any that have given over 500, let me know, okay? It's not going to happen. So that's what we do here. So on this channel, people support what I do that allow me to continue to do shows every single night of the week, 3-hour shows with 3 or 4 hours of research for the regular shows. And they send super chats in, okay? And they become channel members. And all of those funds, at the end of the month, help support my channel and charities at the end of the month that are true crime related or crime related. For example, okay, so if you're just showing up again and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about here. Last year we donated $22,000, and that's only because of the generosity of the freaks. And this year so far, we're not even at the end of July. We've already matched that plus $500. So total $44,500 since January 2020. And we've done $22,500 this year, and $2,000 of it was from our buddy Jeff. I'm including that because he was going to send it to me, and then I would have donated it, but then it's taxed and all that crap. So he just sent it in directly. All right, so this channel directly is $20,500. I bet it's $22,500 because I'm including that, Jeff S. And then NCMEC, we've given, that's National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, $2,700. The first responders, we haven't done that one this year yet. Libby and Abby, $1,500 this year. The DNA Fund, where we're identifying 2 different John Doe cases, $13,500. Texas EquiSearch, $1,800. The Innocence Project, $500. And then we've also given $2,000 to RAIN, which is violence against women. Okay? So whenever you're supporting this channel, you can just know that it's going to do good at the end of the month regardless. We're making a difference no matter what. Okay? So yes, I do. My channel survives because of the generosity, but a huge portion of it, of the, after taxes amount goes to charity. Okay. All right. So that's what I'm going to tell you. All right. So let me go.
You are simply the best, better than all the rest.
Well, thank you, Tracy and Susie Heath. And right now we're almost getting towards the 60,000 mark. So if you'd like to hit that subscribe button, great. Become a channel member. That'll be awesome because that all goes to that as well. A part of it. All right. So anyways, the number's up there if you guys want to call in about the case, but I'm going to keep playing this press conference.
Directly to the killer.
See, what I think this part's here important here, because there's people out there that think that they already know who the killer is, which I guess it's possible that they think they know who it is, they just don't have enough evidence, right? So if you look at it like that, and then let's just pretend in your mind that they know who the person is, and then listen to Carter talk, maybe it means something more. Okay, I also don't like the whole thing about, well, the first sketch is now secondary. Well, here's the thing, everybody. The first sketch, I don't care what type of verbal and digital gymnastics you try to do, they don't look similar at all. There's nothing similar whatsoever about them. But people try to pretend. They go, oh, look at. This one looks like he's just a younger version of the other one. Come on. God, there isn't even one dimple. That isn't a dang thing that looks similar. All right? There isn't anything that looks similar. So don't pretend that. So here we go. Okay, the first sketch is now secondary. You'd think they would say, the first sketch is now irrelevant. We don't believe he looks like this whatsoever. Focus in on this one. And then it turns out, just a couple days later, Carter here, who I think is a great guy, he said, well, it's somewhere in between. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Oh, man, so why don't you release a hybrid sketch of it, too? Then we can all get really confused about it. Okay, I think the sketches are absolutely meaningless at this point. I think they're too confusing and ambiguous. And I think all they can do right now is release the sketch and the audio. Now, here's the thing, everybody. When an arrest is finally made in this case, the person will look like one of the two sketches. There'll be some similarity there. And you'll go, see, it did kind of look like him. Yeah, but everybody does, right? You could put my face next to the first sketch, and I'd kind of, I got the goatee here, I got the... and it's not a colored sketch, so you can put almost every single person that lives in male above the age of 40 in Delphi next to one of those sketches, and he'd look a little bit like one of them.
But might appear younger than his true age. Directly to the killer, who may be in this room.
Well, hey, Sleuth Intuition, you're also absolutely incorrect about what you said earlier. Okay, so you could sit there and go, well, at least we agree on something. Yeah, I've been saying that for a long time, that the sketches are meaningless. What you said above, though, was irresponsible. Okay, you made it sound like, oh, yeah, the signatures are leading them to believe he's not from the area. Completely bogus statement, 100%.
We believe you are hiding in plain sight. For more than 2 years, you never thought we would shift gears to a different investigative strategy, but we have. We likely have interviewed you.
No, it doesn't, Bunny Lee.
Or someone close to you.
Oh my God. Maybe secondary meant the killer was wearing a disguise. Where are these things coming up with? Hold on.
We know that this is about power to you. And you want to know what we know. And one day, you will. A question to you. What will those closest to you think of when they find out that you brutally murdered 2 little girls? 2 children. Only a coward would do such a thing. We are confident that you have told someone.
Well, I think the killer, for sure, I almost think it's certain that he had a gun, and it sounds like he probably had a knife, too.
What you have done. Or at the very least, they know. Because of how different you are since the murders.
Now, there is evidence, sleuth, intuition. See, that's what's wrong with you. In about 2 minutes, I'm going to remove you from the channel permanently. Okay, you've turned out to be a troll. I don't give a damn if you hang out on these other YouTube channels. You're a wacko, okay? Listen, I'm not speculating here. Unless you think that if a family member told you that they heard a click, that the police literally told them they heard a click and they think that that's a gun. Okay, so if that's what you think, that I'm just wildly speculating, then you're crazy. All right. Now you got about 2 more seconds here, sleuth intuition.
We try so hard to understand how a person could do something like this to two children. I recently watched a movie called The Shack. And there's also a book that talks so well about evil, about death, and about eternity. To the murderer, I believe you have just a little bit of a conscience left. And I can assure you that how you left them in that woods is not.
Yeah, so the thing is seeing a bulge doesn't mean there's a gun there. The proof is that law enforcement said they can hear the click, they believe he pulled out a gun, and had him force them down the hill, okay? So now you can say that I'm speculating, if you, but you can say it out loud, but I'm not, because I'm actually repeating what an actual family member and another source, 2 different sources, said the exact same thing. Okay? So they believe that there's a gun. Now, if you want to say that law enforcement's speculating, you can go right ahead, but I trust what they see and hear. Okay?
It's not what they're experiencing today. To the family, I hope that you all will give them some time, because we're going to be asking that there's no media inquiry or no media response for at least the next 2 weeks, and I hope you understand why. The family found out about this information this morning. I just want the family to know that When I take my last breath on this earth, I'll be thinking of them.
Oh yeah, that's true too. What Miss Cakes just said. In one of the people that gave me the information that I've read on the air, one of the people that spoke to a family member said that Abby said, "Is that a gun? That's a gun." Okay, that along with law enforcement hearing the click of it cocking and all that stuff, I think it's like 99.999% chance that there's a gun. Do we see it in the picture? No, but I'm not speculating when I say that. Okay?
There's going to be a tremendous amount of questions. I know that.
Oh no,
I
what?
know that.
Kanan. Oh no, what?
Never in my career have I stood in front of something like this. Please.
Yeah, I've said that on
be patient with us.
I read it
please.
A bunch of times on my show.
We're just beginning. We are just now beginning. And I can tell you on behalf of the sheriff and the police chief, so many other partners.
See, what it just shows me is that so many people watch so much of the garbage shit out there that they don't even pay attention. I've read a message exchange that I had with somebody that's good friends with one of the family members, was told exactly what was on the video. I've read it on the show multiple times. Okay?
That have stood with us over this period of time, that we will not stop.
Now, what is it with Delphi Nights and all the weirdos?
I just unveiled the person that we believe responsible for the murder of these two little girls. So I invite media to take a look at that now.
Well, law enforcement said they don't even know where the DNA is from. Okay, so that makes it sound like that the DNA sample that they have is in such a place that it doesn't mean anything really. Okay, and the caller, he did call in, but I've been communicating with this person since 2018, and they've been right on a bunch of different things because somebody that he knows would actually know information at the time, and he's talked to me about it, and apparently it was like a touch DNA on a shoulder of a sweater, and that could be anything. Anybody can do that. We don't know. The only way you would know for sure if you've got the perpetrator's DNA is if there's an unknown blood source at the crime scene. Skin underneath the fingernail would be likely that, or semen, something like that, on a crime scene like that. But if you have touch DNA on a shoulder of something, who the hell knows where that came from? You could have got that at a McDonald's earlier when you walked through a door or something, and maybe you used your shoulder to get out because you were holding, and it touched where somebody else's hand was. Well, Gray's hands, would a hand be that high? I mean, oh God, it was an example, everybody. Okay? So I'm going to go back to this part again.
When you see the video, watch the person's mannerisms as they walk. Watch the mannerisms as he walks.
Yeah, when somebody comes in and mentions anything about the family, here's what this is, everybody. This is a family accusation-free zone. Meaning, if you ever mention that you think that the family of Abby and Libby have something to do with it, you're immediately just going to be removed from the channel and blocked, okay? It's just complete bogus crap at this point.
Do you recognize the mannerisms as being someone that you might know?
Hey, thanks. Blood.
Remember, he is walking on the former railroad bridge.
I don't even know how to say
Because of the deteriorated condition of the bridge, the suspect is not walking naturally due to the spacing between the ties. During the course of this investigation, we have concluded the first sketch released will become secondary as of today.
Hey,
the result of the new information and intelligence over time leads us to believe the sketch, which you will see shortly, is the person responsible for the murders of these two little girls.
See, when you hear that, that's how it, the only words that should have came out of his mouth was that. Not that the first sketch is now secondary. Oh wait, but apparently that was a disguise that he was wearing. Now listen, no, they should never have mentioned that. What he just said right there was very strong, powerful, boom. This is the person, boom, boom, boom. Okay, not showing up in interviews the next day saying, oh, well, I think it's somewhere in between. Okay, that's weird. They said over time their intel has developed this new sketch. And that's where it should just be left at. That this is the person.
We also believe this person is from Delphi.
Let me just read that again. Watch, here we go.
New information and intelligence over time leads us to believe the sketch, which you will see shortly, is the person responsible for the murders of these two little girls. We also believe this person is from Delphi, currently or has previously lived here.
See, that's interesting, but that statement makes it sound like they aren't really sure who the person is. They think he's from there because of the way he was able to get in and out of the crime scene. Like he knew where the shallow spot was, how to walk through the woods perhaps to get back onto the trail. You know, I actually think now that he didn't go through the, I mean, we've been saying this for a few months now, but he didn't go anywhere near the cemetery. I mean, it's down below the cemetery, but I think he kind of curled up and went around through the woods like how Randy Gravitz did in one of his videos back in 2017. He sort of walked around that direction and went to the cemetery, but you could just kind of hug the cliff, basically, walking around. I think it's more something like that. I'm not keen. I don't use that word, but yeah, I'm not...
Keen sounds like a word I would use, like peachy keen.
Yeah, you mean like how you say G?
G.
Yeah, like that one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought Chadwell seemed interesting at the time, but the MO is completely different. And it turns out that law enforcement wasn't really... They're not really that interested in him. Okay, that's what Becky said, that law enforcement isn't really that interested. So there you go.
Visits Delphi on a regular basis or works here. We believe this person is currently between the age range of 18 and 40, but might appear younger than his true age. Directly to the killer, who may be in this room. We believe you are hiding in plain sight.
Well, it might sound weak to you, Lockwindle, but I just give you my answer. If you don't like it, get the hell out of here. Okay, thanks.
For more than 2 years.
Hey, thanks, Miss Cakes.
You never thought we would shift gears to a different investigative strategy, but we...
The definitive part is that law enforcement's not interested in it. How do you like that? That the family was told that he's not somebody they're interested in. All right.
We have. We likely have interviewed you or someone close to you. We know that this is about power to you. And you want to know what we know. And one day, you will.
That's weird. I wonder how much they actually...
The question to you. What will those closest to you think of? They find out that you brutally murdered two little...
No, I don't think it's somebody in law enforcement. But, you know, we don't know who the killer is. And so like the Chadwell person, they're not interested in him. That's what the family was told. So I'm repeating you that. That's why I don't think it is. But so you go, oh, that's weak. That's weak. Well, go argue with somebody else then. Okay. So when you say, do you think it's somebody in law enforcement or security? Well, I guess anything's possible, right?
Little girls. 2 children. Only a coward would do such a thing.
I don't know. Why are you asking, William? This is just my visor that I wear. I have 2 of them that look
We
exactly
are confident
the
that
same.
you have told someone what you have done. Or at the very least,
I don't know. I think when family approaches them and asks, they probably tell them. Lock Wendell. So, listen, go do your own stuff somewhere else. I'm not interested in Chadwell. I hope it's Chadwell. Wouldn't that be great if it was? But at this point, I'm not interested in him because of what I was told. Okay? So, do what you want to go do, but I'm not going to keep talking about Chadwell. I know all the information about Chadwell. To me, the MO was totally different. He is somebody that's interested in little girls. Where the Delphi suspect, we don't know if that's what his MO is because they were 13 and 14.
they know because of how different you are since the murders.
No, he wasn't just asking a question, Slappy White 20. Go up and read the original comment, Slappy White 20. Don't do the gaslighting bullshit.
We try so hard to understand how a person could do something like this to two children. I recently watched a movie called The Shack.
Yeah.
And there's also a book that talks so well about evil, about death, and about eternity. To the murderer, I believe you have just a little bit of a conscience left.
Why is that, Teresa? I just ate dinner.
And I can assure you that how you left them in that woods is not.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with the movie. Has nothing to do with anything that the killer did. But it could be something where if they live in Delphi, they want to see if anybody rented or checked out that movie. Right? I mean, nobody goes and rents much anymore somewhere, but I don't know. I don't know what... Or it was just to appeal to have them watch the movie, and maybe it would appeal to a side of the person where they would want to come forward and redeem themselves, right?
It's not what they're experiencing today. To the family.
Well, I know what MO means, and they're totally two different things, Lock Wendell.
I hope that you all will give them some time, because we're going to be asking that there's no media inquiry or no media response for at least the next 2 weeks, and I hope you understand why. The family found out about this information this morning.
Thank you, Gary Witherspoon. The Shack just seems like a play at
I just want the family to know that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Could be a play at somebody specific, or it could be that they wanted them to watch it because apparently the movie is about redemption. So maybe they wanted him. And in the interview that the podcast that I was involved with did of Carter, or Kelsey interviewed Carter for us. She was working with us on the podcast. And Carter and her talked about it, and they both just said they just liked the movie and it spoke to them. So, if you go by that, it had nothing to do with some larger plot or scheme.
When I take my last breath on this earth, I'll be thinking of them. There's going to be a tremendous amount of questions, I know.
I was hoping you were laughing on purpose.
I know that. Never in my career have I stood in front of something like this. Please be patient with us. please. We're just beginning. We are just now beginning. And I can tell you on behalf of the sheriff and the police chief, so many other partners that have stood with us over this period of time, that we will not stop.
Well, what we do know, Locke, is, you need more of a range to be able to come up with, okay, this is this guy's MO, right? But they're both completely different. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There isn't any similarity. One was a street block party. He enticed a girl to come into his house to, I think it was to pet his dog or something, and then he turned out to be a psycho who, chained her up down in the basement and had sexually attacked her and everything like that. The other case is a totally different one where this person waited for an opportunity. I don't even know if the bridge needed to be part of it. He could have taken, if the girls had gone down the 505 trail, he knew that there was nobody else in the area whatsoever when Abby and Libby were there. He knew that he and Abby and Libby were the only three people in that area at that time. So he would have followed them down 505 and assaulted them and did whatever he did. The other guy, Chadwell, what he did to the other girl is completely different, not even close to the same thing. All right, so there you go. That's where I'm coming from there. I hope that made sense to you. Of course it won't. You'll have a little pithy little comeback, another little attempt to try to get people to see what you're saying, but it just doesn't make any sense, man. I know MO means, and there's a difference between MOs and signatures. Everybody knows that. We've talked about that 1,000 times. No, that's see, here we go. That's it's not the same at all. Not the same at all. Abby and Libby weren't. They were not lured by anybody. And that's where reductivism didn't work for you, Locke Wendell, is that the things that you brought up just weren't part of the Abby and Libby case, Wendell. Okay?
I just unveiled the person that we believe responsible for the murder of these two little girls. So I invite media to take a look at that now. It's not up. Kim?
Me too, Ella.
We're also going to show you a video not previously released that Superintendent spoke to, and also the audio that's additional to what's been previously released. It's only a slight change in it. So give Sergeant Riley just a second as he gets that up and ready. Stand by for the video, please.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, LM, but I'm telling you, you just shouldn't watch when we do Delphi nights. Okay, because nobody, you always come in and say, oh, I hate Delphi nights, I hate Delphi. Well, why are you here then? Okay, I did a show earlier, you can go watch that one. We're doing Delphi because we do Delphi nights every Sunday, and if people want to call in, there's a number up there, and you just call in and talk about what your theories are, right?
There is no sound of the video.
At least it keeps the case going a little bit. Okay, LM, okay. That's not going to work. Your little nice comment there.
As Superintendent Carter mentioned, he is on the railway bridge. You have to take different steps to get to it.
Thanks, Miss Marple.
This information later this afternoon will be on the State Police website. For the community that's here, we have 100 copies of the news release. If you put in that URL, you'll be able to get to that site to play it.
Literally people come on and say, Gray only covers the Delphi case. Do you know how stupid you sound when you say that? I cover like, I mean, each week probably 10 or 15, okay? And then I do Delphi's on Sunday night, Delphi case.
Gray only covers a Delphi case. He's trying to make money on the girls. Oh, golly.
No, really, yeah, go check it out. We've donated over $3,000 in the last 2 years to the ballpark. And then a couple times to actual, like knick-knack in honor of the girls, okay? Hell, I'll probably do that this month too. How do you like that? Oh, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What do facts matter, everybody? I just got, a lie told often enough becomes the truth.
And we also have that same release for you in the media. And the rest of the state will get that release in about 15 minutes. So we appreciate those of you that came here. This concludes our announcement.
Yes, I've been covering the Murdochs
patience, and
since
courtesy.
it started. Yes, somebody asked if I covered the Murdochs. No, hey, forgot all about it. Never heard of them. Who are they? Yeah, so on here, this is where he makes his mistake too when he said, we want to know who the driver of the vehicle at the abandoned vehicle at the CPS building is. Okay, so after he said that, everybody's like, "Oh my God, the abandoned vehicle! They know who the abandoned. Oh my God, they know." And I said, "No, that was a mistake. It was the abandoned CPS building." No, it couldn't have been because that doesn't support my theory. So, anyways, I sent an email to Carter. He didn't respond, but Holman did because he forwarded it to Holman. And then Holman responded answering all of the questions that I had. And he's the one that clarified that, oh yeah, well, he meant to say abandoned CPS building. Let me see if I can find that actual email. Where is that, man? Wait, I know when that was. So that press conference was April 2019, right? Okay, so this has got to be it right here. No, that's not the one. Is it this one? Okay, that's not it. Okay, so I'd asked the question. I sent it to. I don't see where the original email is, but he said, "We do not discuss the details of any of our ongoing investigations to include who is or isn't a person of interest. As far as the vehicle, we are looking for anyone who knows whose vehicle was parked at the abandoned building. The second sketch is the most accurate sketch and is who we are concentrating our efforts on at this time. Sorry for any confusion." Okay, there you go. So that was from Holman, all right? So I actually go out and try to get the answers. Hey, thanks Cindy Lynn and Claude Spence. And thanks Tony Lee for becoming one of the freaks. No, you can't, John Stamos. As a matter of fact, if you ask to be a mod, you have almost zero chance of ever becoming one. Yeah. Let's see. It's funny. He goes, his name is John Stamos. He said, "Could I be a mod? I was on Full House." Well, that show sucked, so no. There you go. How do you like that? I did like when he was Blackie, though, on General Hospital. He was pretty good, In that band that he was in, remember that when he? Oh man, that's hilarious. Wow. Right, so who's calling in? The numbers are up on the screen right there. And don't worry, everything's cool. You can call in and talk about whatever you want to talk about. Okay, just have it make sense. That was me, Mystery Lover 321. Yeah, that was me. What do you mean, who's the YouTuber? The 3D animation? I did the, my first, here, I'll tell you guys that are new here. That's a crazy story, but it's absolutely true. See, I made a video called something Flow of the Crime. Crime Scene Flow or something. And I put that one out on February 22nd, 2017, just 9 days after the murder. And that seemed like a year, that amount of time, but I was able to determine exactly how everything went down based on the Snapchat images. One image that a reporter took down by the crime scene, showing a tree, the shallow portion of the bridge, and everything like that. So I put it out there, and this person reported me to the Indiana State Police Facebook page as a possible suspect because I just knew too much. So I was like, that's so ridiculous. So I went on there and I actually posted the video. And then one of the police officers watched the video, and then they sent that to Robert Ives, who he said, hey, you got to watch this. This is interesting. So then Robert Ives put a comment on that video, except I did make one error in the video, even though it was just taking off like a rocket ship. I deleted the video and posted it with the corrected errors so that his comment isn't there anymore. But in the comment, he said, hey, do you ever check your email? So I checked my email, and then there was a comment, email from Robert Ives, but it had a .com. And I was like, hey, this doesn't look right. I remember messaging Ada and some of the others like, hey, this seems kind of weird. And he goes, no, look me up. Here's, give me his phone number and everything. So I called there the next day, and he, let's see, what was it? I called there the next day, and the secretary answered, I guess, and she said, and I'm sorry that the secretary was a female. In today's world, it's almost, if I said, oh, wait, she, meaning secretary, oh my God, how dare you, Gray? Okay, yes, it just happened to be a female who was a secretary. All right. She said, oh, he's busy, let me check. And then she checked, and boom, I got sent right back to him. And then we talked for like 20 minutes. He said that, hey, if there's ever a trial, maybe he'd hire me to create some graphics like that. And that, and then he said that if we get to that point, I'll provide you with more video evidence so that you can be more accurate on your video. So the thing is in the video that I made, we weren't able to see things exactly in their locations because you're sort of limited. We did, a woman named Beth and Bonnie Rame went out to the bridge for me and videotaped. I was even on the phone with Beth, and we got the two still images taken of the bridge and the one of Abby on Snapchat. We found out exactly those locations. Everybody knows now, but they all claim, oh no, we figured it. No, you didn't. We had this stuff in March of 2017, okay? So we had the exact locations, and then over time, with Beth at the very far end of the bridge, off the very end, filming, going, various angles, we were able to figure out exactly where the killer was. Now, keep in mind, the real video has the entire bridge on it. You have the right rails and everything. They could easily figure out a pretty accurate height because they have the right rail in the video. They just cropped out the amount that they wanted us to see. All right. And I know that it's hard to believe what I just said, but it's a real thing. It actually happened. So hold on a second. Something froze on my computer over here. Yeah. So that was the actual story right there. Trying to figure out why something's not working on here. I can't click. There we go. Yeah, so we actually have that full interview of Robert Ives. You guys ever listened to it? I made a video of it where it's literally the entire video. Oh, I'm sure you did, Steve. I'm sure you did, buddy. This one?
Sure.
Oh yeah, here we go.
I'm happy to talk. I'm happy to talk.
So in the podcast, this never made it onto our podcast, but this was part of the interview. So just for you new people out here, this was to verify what I just told you. This is Robert Ives here, right? He said I could play this too.
Sure. No, I'm happy to talk. I'm happy to talk about it. I'm in favor of publicity for it any time. As I told Gray, I have a lot of respect for Gray. He got involved creating videos way at the beginning, and I was very impressed with the work he did. Had we ever gotten to a point of having a triable case, I might well have hired him to produce some graphics for me because he did really wonderful work, and he and I have communicated on and off over the last couple of years, and I do trust him. So what can I do for you, Mike?
Yeah, see, so for me, comments like that make me, I'm proud of myself and the work that I do when, you have something like that, right? Now, a lot of you out there might not give a damn, but I care, like I try to do my work where somebody might actually say something like that and feel that way, all right? So there you go. That's an actual proof of what I just told you a few minutes prior. All right, let me get to this. I don't know who's first here, but hold on. All right, 502. Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Never called in, man. I'm a big fan of yours. We just started listening to you, man. You've like inspired me and my daughter into true crime. My daughter's crazy about. Anyways, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and I live about 2 hours away from Delphi, give or take. And it amazes me about. There's a lot of people that have never heard of this case, and we live that close. One of my theories is that this guy definitely got lucky, and I think that he has given into an urge that he's had for God knows how long, and he finally just went through with it. And I think he was out hunting. I kind of got this. I like the John Douglas books, and Douglas kind of describes that it's sort of like asking someone not to be attracted to the opposite sex or something like that, and they just finally, it's like the guy in a sick way just finally gave into an urge and just got lucky, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I think when people say he was hunting, I think he was hunting for a person. that day.
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's what. Yeah. So he's out there.
Yeah, I believe.
And I think he was out there, and somebody just happened to, the right opportunity presented itself, but he was definitely out there waiting, hoping for the opportunity. Right.
Yes, I think that he cruises those places, and he probably puts a lot of miles on his vehicle. And these guys, to me, going from like some of the Bundy interviews I've heard, Bundy would drive. I mean, he'd wear tires out, driving around, like an animal hunting prey.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I think. But just recently I've been thinking that, everybody's so preoccupied with a quote, the bridge, right? But I actually don't think the bridge has anything to do, it helped in the crime, but if this person knew the whole area well, I think he knew exactly that there was nobody else anywhere near the bridge right at that time other than he and Abby and Libby. He knew that. So I think even if the girls, let's say he was at the 501 bridge sign area, I think if in that area, had the girls gone down the 505 trail path, he might have followed them down there and killed them down there somewhere, because he probably didn't really care. He just knew that there was nobody out there. So down there would be pretty isolated as well.
I agree with you. I'm afraid that he has become, I think he's in a cooling off period, but this to me is something this guy's not going to stop doing. I think that he's going to get his confidence back up, and this is going to happen again. I hate to say it, and I feel like this thing is going to go cold and won't be solved years from now. I really feel terrible saying that, but it just seems like there's nothing there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, somebody just said, yeah, the bridge was used to trap them. Well, okay. Well, the thing is sure. Once they got onto the bridge, he was like, oh man, this will even be better. And he let them go across, and then he walked across, and then he took them down the hill over there and down the way around across the creek, and however that played out, we don't know. But the thing is I think he was going to kill him. Once he knew that there was just them, he was waiting for them to be isolated. So he would have used the isolated 505 trail to trap them. The bridge makes it so you can't go anywhere. Like if you can't go right or left, you kind of have to go across. And once you're across, you could scurry around and go right or left or any of those things. But they didn't know where they were.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that he's been in the area several times along with other places, and I think he just was out. I think this guy spends a lot of time looking around, and there's no. He's looking for an isolated area. He's got the type of victim he wants. I sometimes wonder if he saw them get dropped off.
Yeah, well, you think maybe. I mean, if he was waiting in that area, sure. And also that witness that I had who said he saw the vehicle there parked at 8:45 and then it was still there at 2:15. Well, that makes it now, so that opens the door that he was there all day waiting for that one window where there was a female and him alone, and it just happened to be two younger females, and he took a chance at that.
I think in his sick mind, this guy was caught up in a fantasy, and this guy may have hung out in areas like that for hours. These people, I think, are so drawn to the urge that they just they don't mind hanging out as long as it takes. I bet he's been there several times, and it just hasn't found the right. Something didn't feel right, and that day it did, unfortunately.
Yeah, and maybe he'd just been out there a few times in a week period. We don't even know when, some of these witnesses may have seen him before that date. And maybe that's how we got to know the area. So a lot of the stuff about like we think he's from Delphi or once lived here, that doesn't necessarily have to be true. In fact, even if he just heard about the park and knew it was sort of, people jog there and so he drives out there and he gets there early and he spends the first part of the day up until 12:30 or so, scouting around, trying to figure stuff out. And after about 4 hours, he kind of knew the area pretty well. But, and maybe he walked down the 505 trail. Maybe then he walked back up. Then he crossed the bridge, went down, looked around, right?
Right. I think that this guy may have a profession that allows him freedom to go out for days if he wants. I really think that that's what's kept him under the radar as a family member. The guys might not even be married, or anyone would ever say, this guy's out of town. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he lived 60 miles away. I think these people cruise rural areas. Mm-hmm. And like you said, it doesn't take long to get to know the spot, and they set up camp there, and or not literally, but
I know what you're saying.
They found their hunting ground, and they troll it, and they'll move on to the next one. And it's terrible that he thought it was the perfect time. But I love your show, Gray. I'll let you get back to it, and I'm just going to sit and listen to you, brother.
Well, hey, great call. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'll be calling again, man.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for what you do, man, with all your fundraising and stuff.
Yeah, no.
And yeah.
Well, appreciate it. Thanks for calling in. Have a good one.
Yes, definitely will. I'll see you, Gray.
All right, bye-bye. Yeah, that was good stuff there. See, that's exactly... That's very similar to what I think, too. And it wouldn't matter if it wasn't. It was rationally presented. So you've got the... I think that the killer could be, like I've said, he could live 15, 20, 30 miles away, and he might have a normal life. I was going to ask him if he thought that the killer lived in his grandmother's basement and drooled. I was going to ask that, but I never was able to. All right, 575. You got to turn down your audio in the background. Hello. Yeah, you got to turn down the audio. You have to use your phone. Okay.
I did.
Okay.
I
cool.
did. I think I did.
Okay. Sounds better now.
Hey, Gray.
Who's this?
Hello.
Yeah. Who? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is Melissa.
What's going on?
I'm just saying that I'm trying to approach this. I mean, this whole Delphi murder thing has truly bothered me, and so I'm kind of on a mission to try to solve it like a law school problem. I know it sounds silly, but I just think that car at the CPS building is like what we call a red herring. It's like to throw you off. It's like everybody like focuses. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What, are you listening to something else? Just listen to the phone. Don't listen to anything else, okay?
Okay, I gotta put you on speaker or something because my phone's jacked up here. Let me do this.
Okay.
Okay, are you good?
Yeah.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I can hear you. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. But yeah, I just think that the car at the CPS building is kind of like, that's a red herring, what we call in law school. It's like a diversion. It's like, okay, they're going to focus on this and try to figure out the car and then go from there. But I honestly believe it's like, let's not focus on the car. Let's focus on everything else. And that's what I think that it's like we all like. I mean, if you were the owner of the car and you went there for a hike or spent the day at the trails or whatever, would you come forward and go, yeah, that's my car? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well, here's what I think. I think the most likely, which also suggests that they might know who the person is that they are asking who the driver of the vehicle that was parked at the abandoned CPS building is, because that implies they know what type of vehicle it is. And then maybe if they have a suspect, because I actually know the person who saw the vehicle there. I talked to him. I have a recorded interview with him. He saw the vehicle. Right. It was an older model vehicle. He didn't tell me the type because that's something they couldn't put out. but he saw it from 8:45 to 2:15. When he left, it was still there at 2:15. It didn't leave. The car was still there at 2:15. Okay, so I think that it's possible that they know who that there's somebody that they're interested in being the killer that might have that exact type of vehicle, and they wanted to see what he did with the vehicle after the press conference.
Oh, okay.
Because wouldn't that be kind of? Didn't that make sense? Like, we want to know who the driver of the abandoned we want to know who the driver of the vehicle parked at the abandoned CPS building, and then that person is going, "Ooh, crap! That means they know what kind." And then they try to get rid of it, or something, just to see if there was any movement on that front, and maybe there wasn't.
Yeah. So, a question is like, do they know for a fact that it was like there's a driver, because you use the word driver, there's a driver and passenger, or it's just like it's like whoever's car this is?
Yeah, they want to know who the driver of the vehicle, as if they know what type of vehicle it was. They just want to know who the driver is.
Okay.
So what they're saying is we know the vehicle, and we want to know who the driver is. But they might have an idea who the driver was, and they want to see if that person does something with the vehicle. That's the only thing that makes sense to me on the way that's worded. But, could just be poorly worded, much like a lot of the other things. So.
Yeah. Yeah, the other thing is everybody keeps talking about this hunting, the guy's out for hunting, and I know, it's Deer Creek or whatever, Deer Valley, I don't know. But it's like, are there permits for hunting issued in the area?
No, I think you can hunt there, but I don't know. See, those are those kind of rabbit hole routes to go looking into. I mean, what are you going to do? Look up all the people that are hunting licenses?
Yeah,
and go
I
through all
know
that.
out here you have to have I know where I live, you have to have like a license to like gun down a deer or go hunting in certain areas, and if you don't have a license, you bag game, then it's another charge. So I was just curious.
Yeah. No, I don't know anything about. I mean, we don't even know if the person's a hunter or anything like that. He's a dude wearing a blue jacket, jeans, and brown non-hunting shoes. I mean, he was just some guy. He wasn't wearing hunting shoes when he was out there. It didn't look like to me. He looked like he was just wearing regular brown shoes with the blue jeans.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
But there seems to be some sort of like discussion of like the bag, if quote unquote, if there's a bag on his side. But
yeah, okay, but I know that when you say there's discussion, it's just a bunch of YouTubers saying, "Oh, look at that! It's a 3175 2B model, a hunting bag, and he's also got a 1927 Colt Mustang." It's like, give me, that's all the stuff. We don't know what that is. I think it looks like the bottom of the hoodie that he has on, coming out of that side. And maybe there's a pocket there, but it's also on some of the still frames, it's flat against his leg, and then it poofs out. So what's in that damn thing, if it was a pouch? Okay, so I don't even know if that's a pouch. I think it could just be a right side of maybe a zip-up hoodie or something hanging down a little low there. Could be just about anything at this point. So it's hard to... we all we know, basically, this is what we know. There's a guy with a blue jacket, looks like maybe okay, here's the only thing that we know 100% sure. There's something on his head. He's got a blue jacket, light blue jeans, and brown shoes, okay? And he's got his left hand in his pocket, and his right hand is underneath, but it looks like it's underneath the coat pocket, maybe holding something up, but it's definitely underneath there. Okay, but other than that, we don't know what model, brand of anything anybody has or anything like that. And when people say that they can zoom in and see a label, they're full of crap. Okay, just like you can't see oh, look at, he's got a mole on his face. Really? Well, the pixels are bigger than his mole could possibly be. Yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right.
The Yeah. The other thing is I don't know if it was from your show or from some other thing that I saw, but there was like a landowner and his lady walking her dogs, and she had some sort of encounter with supposedly the guy.
Yeah, but there's no evidence that actually happened.
Okay.
All
Right. So that hasn't been.
There's a YouTuber claiming that happened without having anything to back it up. No, the lady walking the dog hasn't said anything. Nobody said anything. Now you can choose to believe that individual, but based on their past, it'd be hard to really trust anything that they ever said. But you have the right to believe anything. You know?
Yeah, I understand that.
I mean, it could actually be true, but I coming from that source with no backup information, forget it. All right.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right.
And the other thing is,
well, I got another caller. Is it really quick?
Okay. Just one other thing. Has all the persons in the search parties that found the girls on the day of, have they been eliminated?
Well, I can guarantee it that they've checked every single one of those people.
Okay.
I mean, they're not going to tell me that. They're not going to tell any of us that. But I can guarantee it with the FBI around, they're going to check anybody that was in the search parties, anybody that was anywhere around there during that time. Guarantee it.
Alrighty. Well, I don't want to delay you any further, but thank you so much.
Well, thanks for calling in. Have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah. So anyways, this guy up here keeps saying, where is it? No, this AJ, he keeps saying, hey, the guy sounds like Carter. The down the hill sounds like Carter. Listen. Okay, listen. Here, let's play it. No, doesn't sound anything like him. Doesn't sound anything like Carter. Okay, nothing like him at all. But who he does sound like, everybody, is Daryl from Walking Dead. Now listen to that again. Listen. One more time. See that? Watch, listen, right here. Down the hill. I mean, the way down the hill is said exactly like Daryl from Walking Dead. You know the guy with the crossbow? Oh my God, the crossbow! Is that what he had around his back? Okay, he sounds exactly like Daryl. But guess what, everybody? I am convinced that that's not Daryl from The Walking Dead. I thought we had something there. All right, anyways. Here we go. We're going to... 815, you're on.
Hey, Gray, how you doing?
Pretty good. Who's this?
I usually don't catch it live, so I thought I'd call in. My name's Nathan.
Nathan?
I live in Southern Illinois.
All right, cool. Well, you got. I think you have your audio playing in the background.
Yeah, I just turned it off. Well, I have a lot of questions, really. I mean, it's so bizarre. This whole case is so bizarre. I think that's kind of the reason why it's not ever going to be solved. I mean, I think the picture's useless. I mean, that could be anybody.
Yeah.
It could be you, me, or my neighbor.
Yeah. It's like if you combine the image and the audio, it seems like somebody might be able to see, put two and two together, right? But, yeah, it's pretty weak.
Well, I mean, I realize it's really all we got, but, I mean, I don't see that solving the case. And I don't know, do they have DNA? It doesn't really seem like they do. I think that's... And I don't understand why they don't tell people what they have. I mean, I know that they're worried about false confessions, but at this point it's like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And why do you think I mean, that seemed like a bizarre place to choose. Like, it's not really big, Like, I mean, I'm just surprised that nobody heard anything. And, like, what if they would have... I mean, I know they haven't done, like, the manner of death, but, like, what if they... I mean, I think you believe that he pulled a gun on them. What if they hadn't went down the hill, Like, would he have killed him right there?
Well, that's the thing, is nobody knows, right? I mean, if they tried to run, he might have just let him go and walked away, you know? But people don't run when somebody has a gun. That's just that's why they pull out guns on people, you see? Yeah,
well, I'm just, you know, I mean, what if they just didn't do what he wanted and they just stood there? I mean, it just seemed like there was so much there for him to get caught. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't seem like a good...
I don't know. It doesn't seem any different than any other abductions in parks where people were raped and murdered, you know. Or we don't know if they were raped or not, but, you know. But the thing is, I'm just saying...
that was the motive?
Well, I think there was a sexual component to it. I'm just saying, but there's other parks, you know, even in the middle of New York, somebody will attack somebody in Central Park at night. But, man, there's, you know, what is it, 15 million people surrounding that place. This has like 3,000 people living in Delphi, and this is sort of a rural park here. There are people that live around there, but not a ton of people. There's only literally two houses that are actually anywhere near the end of the bridge, and then there's some way up here, and nobody would have heard anything. He knew that there was nobody there at the you know, in the area of the bridge when he went to abduct them. He was completely aware that it was just him and those two girls.
Yeah, but there's people. I was under the impression there's kind of like a smattering of people that kind of in that area.
Yeah, there's a couple of homes, but one of them wasn't even around. And
I'm just kind of going by what I hear from you and other people, that it's not really that big of an area.
Yeah. It's not like when I say it's not remote. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh God, it's so remote," but it's not really remote. It's just a park that's, I guess you could say, secluded might be a better term. Once you get into the park, it's surrounded by trees, and if you go down like the 505 trail, that's way down here, kind of secluded. There isn't going to be a lot of people down there. And going across the bridge,
even the trees didn't have any leaves on them, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, I just feel like there's kind of like maybe this element of maybe he didn't expect to get away with it, or he wanted to get caught. I mean, I think he just got lucky, really. But
yeah, I mean, he's probably lucky. He's definitely lucky because once he brought the girl, when he was walking across the bridge, he had no way of knowing how close the next person was behind him anymore. There could have been somebody, when he finally made his move to walk across the bridge, there could have been somebody who just started parking their car, walked down the trail, and would have been right behind him. And I think at that point, if he had turned around at any point and saw that there was a person behind him, or somebody appeared in front of the girls, like on the other side somewhere, he just would have walked right on by and pretended like he was just going for a walk. But there wasn't. He looked, I guarantee it, he looked back behind him, saw there was nobody, and then he made his move. And he knew by watching for hours that there was nobody else that was down on across the bridge. You know, he couldn't be 100% sure about the other side because there's people that, you know, just could randomly have been walking there. And of course, once he walked across, he would be able to kind of make a quick assessment. And, you know, there's some luck involved there, right? There could have been somebody that just showed up.
I think he definitely got lucky. But do you, I remember you were saying that do you think the car that was parked in the CPS building was actually his? Or
yeah, I think that I don't know for sure, but it sounds like they believe that the driver of the vehicle, I don't think they're looking for a witness. I think they want to know who the driver of the vehicle was because they think that might be the vehicle that the person came in and out on. And they must know that for a reason.
You were saying that there was a guy that saw it there parked at 8 o'clock in the morning?
That was 8:45. 8:45, he said. He saw it in the morning, I think when he got to the place he was working. And then also at 2:15 when he left.
So you think he was in those woods for 5 hours waiting for that opportunity?
Yeah, it could have been.
Is
Yeah.
that what you think?
Well, I mean, it definitely could have been. Yeah, could have just been chilling out and waiting for that perfect opportunity. Maybe there was too many people there earlier, and then he knew that all of them left, and he knew when the girls walked by him that they were the only 2 people that were still out there, and that's when he made his move. Had there been any other person that hadn't been accounted for, he probably would have maybe followed a little bit to see what was going on. Maybe that person went somewhere, but he knew it wasn't going to be safe at that time. That's just my opinion. I mean,
Okay, a couple more questions. I mean, why not release how they died? I mean,
well, how would it help?
There's so many murders that do release that, and then this one they don't want to.
Well, Indiana never releases anything, but how would that help us determine who the killer was by releasing how they died?
Well, I think we all kind of really know, or think we know how it happened anyway, and we kind of have this. When you don't have the information, you kind of speculate, and then you got these weirdos that they come up with anything. They'll say anything to get YouTube hits or
I guess that would might help resolve some of the wild speculation, but it doesn't really help us figure out, if they're trying to figure out who the killer is, and I don't know how releasing that information would help them find the killer. Now, the things that Robert Ives called signatures, that's sort of this weird decision, because then you have to say, well, what are those signatures? And if they're a specific item, let's say like a little tiny, I'm just throwing it out there, a little tiny voodoo doll with its, maybe that would be something you'd want people to see, because there might be somebody within, somewhere in the country that goes, you know what? That guy does look like that, and he has those damn little things. He carries those little dolls with him everywhere. That might make a difference. One of the signatures, but it might not be signatures like that. They could be something, maybe the way they were posed or something. Maybe that's a signature.
Well, I don't think you need to release the signatures or anything.
Well, the signature would be more valuable than cause of death. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, do you think that they've checked all of the surveillance from, gas stations and things like that? I mean, how frustrated is the family? Are they starting to feel like, if they have DNA and they haven't solved it in 5 years, nowadays, that's kind of...
Well, the family feels, they know that law enforcement is really working as hard as they can. They're always in constant communication with them. Law enforcement is, they've done everything they possibly could. Like a lot of people are out there, with these stupid, idiotic petitions they're putting out there, as if that's going to help law enforcement do a better job. Look, they had the FBI was running the show the entire time. Early on, right? So they know exactly what was going on. They probably even have a profile of the killer. They do that. They just didn't release it to the public. Then, over time, it kind of transferred over to the Indiana State Police, and they're always constantly looking at the case, and the FBI is always in the background. So anything that we think of, hey, have they done this? They've done that. Okay? Now, if you come up with something kind of crazy, like a wild thread or something, you might send that in as a tip, because that might not have been something they thought about. But all these sort of basic stuff, like, hey, do you think they checked everybody at that was in the search party? Well, of course. Just really, they're going to do all those things. So.
Okay, there's one other question. There's this guy online. I'm sure you know who he is. He keeps saying that it's Thomas Bruce.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just wondering, does that even make sense? Would they not say?
Well, I remember when Thomas Bruce was first mentioned, like a long time ago, brought up. He seemed interesting. He was a guy.
He does fit the profile to me, and this guy has a little.
He had the right
doesn't make any
clothing and stuff like that. He kind of has that hat and everything. That they put in the sketch.
Would they really let this city and this family not know if they were fairly certain that it was him.
Well, yeah,
Or if
I
had
don't think they think it's
fingerprints
him. I don't think they think
DNA.
it's him at all. There's only one person out there that keeps saying it over and over because they can't give up on it. You know, it's one of those things. Confirmation bias.
He's saying that they have his DNA and fingerprints, and they just can't release it because he's charged with this other crime. I mean, that seems like a bunch of nonsense to me.
Right. Why would they be talking about who the driver?
I don't know if that's
why would they
even
release a sketch of a really young person, and then why would they waste their time doing that? If they knew it was Thomas Bruce, why would they have released a sketch of a really young person to really just screw with society? You know how much trouble they would get in for doing that if they really knew that? There's no way in hell.
It just doesn't make sense to me, but this guy just is like, you know, seems totally convinced, and I've watched his show a couple times. Anyway, I was, man, I should have wrote some of this.
Well, the reason that one was sort of similar in a way at the time was because he didn't lure anybody. This guy went in and sort of trapped the females inside of that store, and then had one of them, he wanted them to perform sex acts on him, so he shot one who refused, and then the other two did it, and then he left. But, I mean, what a total... So that one, they had a little similarity there because it was that he waited for a situation to arise. He was in the store prior, then he left because he knew that there was only a certain amount of women in there, went and got a gun, and then he went back in there. But then he was stupid because he left his ID card with the restaurant he was just at. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty
And
dumb.
if it was one of these guys, wouldn't there be I mean, they say there's eyewitnesses. I'm unsure that there's even eyewitnesses, really. But anyway, wouldn't they be able to ID that Chadwell or Thomas Bruce or one of the other people that they think might have done it? See, I'm actually different from you. You said you thought it was an older guy. I'm thinking it's probably a younger guy, and if they do have DNA, that's why they haven't caught him.
Yeah.
You know, maybe his first crime or something like that.
Yeah, but the picture,
Plus,
that
it
guy,
seems
when you
like
watch the video, you think that looks like a young person?
Oh, it definitely looks older, but I mean, I think he's wearing a disguise of some kind. I don't think that's his normal, you know, clothes that he wears or anything like that. I mean, it could be, but I don't think that would be very smart.
Right.
I think obviously, if he was waiting there since 8 o'clock, he probably had this planned out. I mean, I don't think it's a good location, and the only reason I say that is because it's so small. I feel like any random situation, you probably could find a better one than that, you know, than a public trail.
Yeah, well, he probably thought, like, if I get out here, it's kind of isolated, but I know people exercise out there or something. And so he went there on a day where there wouldn't have been not a lot of traffic. He probably didn't even know that there was a school day. And that's why he was like out there going, wow, there's so many people. And then there was an opportunity that arose. And then you kind of worry about Cheyenne, the girl that showed up second, or right after them. I mean, you almost wonder what if she was out there by herself before the girls? She might have been a victim as well. So.
Or would he even have wanted just one? Was he after two the whole time?
I think it was just one. Based on I don't know. I just think that that just was the opportunity that presented, that there was two girls. I don't think he was looking for a two girls situation.
At some point, one of them had to have had an opportunity to leave.
Yeah, well, that's what they say, that they wouldn't have left each other because they're good friends. But it could have been that. Well, it could have also been that they were, two. Like they were forced to go across, but one was killed almost immediately, and the other one didn't have time to run. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that, or maybe even handcuffs or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just seems like it'd be hard to kill two people. Because, I mean, obviously they're young, they're fast, they could have ran, you know.
I bet you both of them can run faster than he could.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
The
thing is,
it could have been, like I was saying, it could be a younger guy. If they have DNA, which I'm not sure that they do. I mean, I think that this is very like John Bonet type, where it's so bizarre that nothing makes sense. That, I mean, I don't know how familiar you are with that case, but I used to watch everything on that.
I try to avoid it because it's covered by way too many people. I like to do ones that aren't. This one I've been covering since they were missing, so I'm just keep going.
Right.
But I cover cases generally that are almost unknown.
Oh, I remember the day that it or maybe like the next day after it happened. I remember seeing the first news report where they had the picture, and they were saying that it isn't a suspect. They just wanted to know, who this guy is. I'm in Southern Illinois, and it reached all the way to me down here.
Yeah.
And I'm probably 4 or 5 hours at least. So, I mean, yeah, even from that news report, I kind of knew, okay, they think that guy did it.
All right.
But, if he really thought he was going to be recognized, maybe he would call in and try and come up with a story. But I guess he was smarter than that.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go take a quick break here. I gotta use the.
All right, man. Thank you. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in. Calling again sometime. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right. I'll be back in a second. Yep, Aruba, Jamaica. Hold on a second. I'll be back in a minute. I'll do the vacation here in a second. I gotta use the actual bathroom. Come on. Oh yeah, now I'm gonna do my vacation. This is where you guys can help support the channel by buying me drinks and all kinds of goodies. And thank you up there to LM and Tawny Lee. Oh. He didn't Ronnie Bald, sorry. He didn't pretend to be a cop. That's a completely bogus story. Get the hell out of here. Thanks. Thanks, Angel Bear. I won't like alone anymore. You won't hike alone. Oh, you won't hike alone? Thanks, Tony Lee. Okay. Yeah. So Ronnie Bald is one of those people who believed the crazy lunatic stories that were told on Facebook. That it was a cop saying, hey, you guys got to follow me this way. Yeah. Right. That's why they were scared when he was... Listen, it's bogus. Thanks, Tony Lee. Could this person have been walking regularly from the hog plant? Yeah, maybe. Could he have been walking regularly from McDonald's or Burger King? That's another question that I really want to know the answer for. It was just some stupid YouTuber. I mean, not a YouTuber, a Facebook person who came up with all these crazy writings, pretending they had inside information. But again, thank you, Kathy Freidenmaker. No, I can't. Hey, JJ208. I can't do it. I don't think Mark Red One was the guy. Thanks, Kim. F sharp harp. I'm going to always put the F sharp in there. Thanks, JD.
Gatorade and gin.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it up even louder. Yes, I'll be getting these phone calls in a minute, but I just need a break. I've been on it for 2 hours and 4 minutes. Is that okay? I don't have commercial breaks like the radios and TV stations. Yeah, put that back on there. Thanks, LM, Rita Schaefer. Yeah, but he killed his kid via neglect. That's a completely different deal. I was thinking the Suns were going to win, Walker, but I don't know now. I think the Suns will win the next game. But you never know, actually. You never know. Thank you, Beholder Vomit Face. Jessica Schubach. All right. Hey, thank you, Gary Witherspoon. Yeah, definitely, I think after the show tonight, I'm going to guzzle tequila, okay? Just because there's been so many trolls, it's unbelievable. And I hate when people say, you call trolls people who have a different opinion. No, I call people trolls that are trolls. You know, the ones that they just... I don't know if they're just really dumb or like what's going on, but I just don't have time for it. Thank you, Susie Heath.
_basic vacation _basic vacation B _basic vacation _basic vacation.
Yeah, 2 more minutes on vacation. A lot of trolls showed up tonight, though.
This is for something tropical with an umbrella.
I'll turn it up again, Courtney, but I'm actually at... Okay, here we go. There we go, we're back up to high volume again. Thanks, Courtney Rob and Kit Kat. I know, I'm feeling relaxed too. Linda Howell, as in Linda Moulton Howe of the cattle mutilations and crop circles. Although that's how, H-O-W-E, but that sounds the same. Is it really? Your dog's bobbing its head, huh? That's crazy. Anyone else sound?
For a tequila shot.
Nah, I think that's just you, Jennifer. Probably have it turned up too high. Alright, anyways. Well, thanks everybody for the vacation there and helping out for the channel and the donations at the end of the month.
Louder. More tequila. YOLO. Headphone.
Oh, just turn down your volume.
Missing y'all.
Okay, there
Love
you go.
you. Have a drink, Gray.
Is that loud
Tumbler
enough?
glass.
Is that
Tumbler
good?
glass.
All right. Thanks, everybody. All right, here we go. Wow. That's going to be a long one. 502, you're on.
It's Steve from Louisville again.
Oh,
I
hey.
wanted to get in. I wanted to go back on the discussions about the signatures. Have you heard anything about leaks on that? Is there rumors out there? And I know it's crazy on the internet, but
No.
is
I've heard the ones about the
what
dolls and all the crap. Yeah.
Yeah, and getting back
Crosses.
to what I was discussing earlier about these urges, this man, is the ultimate. To me, the means to an end was the signatures. He was so focused on. He had to. There was this performance that he had to. He had to pull it off. I just didn't know if you heard anything. That was that sounded credible.
No. I don't have any idea what the signatures are. There's a lot of rumors that people just invent. Like they'll look at a helicopter footage, see a branch that crosses over a trunk of a tree, and call that a cross. And then they look at like a glob of a bush, and via pareidolia say, "Oh, look, it's a teddy bear. It's about 9 feet tall. Don't worry about that." But yeah. So that's the kind of stuff that drives me crazy. But I have no idea.
I'm curious to. I would think that there would be someone filing paperwork or something down there that would have information about those signatures, and it surprises me that someone hasn't leaked those yet. I don't know what their job position would be. It wouldn't be somebody involved in the investigation, but I would think that there would be some individual that has to type up and file that stuff.
Yeah.
And it surprises me that someone like that hasn't leaked that.
That is kind of interesting, but it seems like, I bet you there's the file, and then there's the file. There's probably this one file that has all of sort of the inside, and they keep it really close to the vest just for that reason only, to avoid leaks. And they probably said, if this gets out, we know it's one of you three people, right?
And that scares me when I hear about the signature, because that is definitely a person to me that is not going to stop doing this.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is John Miller, the killer of April Tinsley, he only killed the one person, but he had stuff like that. He even, he sent in like taunting notes. He left literal notes on the side of a barn, and then he left like a crank. I mean, it's sick as hell, but he left like a crank sexual device next to April Tinsley's body. She's only 8. And he did all kinds of weird stuff like that, but apparently that's the only person he ever killed.
Yeah, yes, I remember hearing about that, and they caught this guy years later, right?
Oh yeah, like literally 40-something years later. It was 82, I think, and then he was arrested in, like, I think 2018 or 19, something like that.
Yeah, that really that makes me scratch my head how this gentleman, I wouldn't say that, this savage would just kill once and then just stop. That blows my mind when you hear about killers like that. And I've heard of some that will do that. Like it's rare. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
I think it's rare.
Yeah.
I think almost every time you have a case where there's a woman's nude body was found and she was sexually assaulted, almost every one of those is by a serial killer type person. Nobody does that, you know. Nobody goes out and you know, and they're like their hands are bound and those kind of things. They're almost always a serial killer.
Yes, and what's funny to me, it's hard to tell the age of this guy on the bridge. To me, he looks like an older guy, and it's bizarre that an older man, unless he's gotten away with murders in the past, would decide to start killing
right
in his 40s or something.
Yeah,
but,
so he may have killed many people before, and people are getting hung up on. That's why I keep saying everybody's focused in on the bridge. Take the bridge out of it.
Yeah.
Pretend the bridge didn't exist and there was just this long path. He would have done the same thing. He knew there was nobody in front of them. Okay, and then at some point when he caught up to him, now he had control of him. Because once they got on the other side of the bridge, they had options, right? But he had a gun on him. So he would have found another way to get close to them and then pull out a gun. So one time I said, well, we should go look up old cases, you know, within 100 miles that, you know, maybe it could have even have been, you know, later at night or at a park somewhere or, you know, some place where he could get a victim isolated. And
right. I agree with you. I think that, the bridge to me has no significance. It was just an opportunity. I think it could have been on any path. It could have been anywhere just remote enough to do what he wanted to do. What was it? The bridge. I don't believe the bridge has anything. I don't think that he thought about the bridge being like a way to the perfect ambush. I simply think that a psycho got lucky and he's probably cruised around looking in all kinds of different parks, rural trails.
Mm-hmm. I used to think that the bridge was part of it until, like, I don't know, maybe just like a month ago. I mean, I used to think, just because I don't know why, you know, and then I just thought, well, why does that have to be part of anything? I mean, he was out there, and I think it was once I finally said out loud that he knew that there wasn't another soul anywhere near the bridge, and he knew that it was just him and the two girls. That's when I said to myself, well, then what difference does the bridge make at that point? Right?
Yeah, right. With I'm sure you know some things about Jeffrey Dahmer. Didn't he murder someone at a young age and there was a long cooling off period?
I don't know that, like what all the different, his whole story like that. I watched one of the things that people should go watch is go watch the Stone Phillips Jeffrey Dahmer interview on YouTube. That is that's the craziest thing you've ever seen. He at one point at the end, like he describes this time where he had a head in a box, and his dad picked up the box and was like, "Hey, tell me what's in here." And he's like, his dad could have opened it, but his dad just let it go, right? And then when the interview was over, while he was walking out, he goes, "Oh, hey, just something might interest you to Stone Phillips. See that box over there? That's exactly the type of box that the head was in." I mean, my God, it was like he was talking about, a fishing rod that he purchased. I mean, the guy's a psycho. Yeah.
Well, getting back to just an example for the listeners, I've seen some things in the comments where people would say, why would a man wait 9 hours to do this? If anyone has any hobbies like myself, I like fishing. I have drove 60 miles away from where I live on a whim and it's taking off work to go check out like a pond that I found on Google Maps.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, and I have just driven into the area, looking around, scoping it out, saying, oh, this looks like the perfect place to fish, or, you know,
for bass,
that, or the other thing.
Yeah.
Bluegill,
crappie, bass?
Yeah. Yeah, bass fishing, yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time. When I was a kid, I used to get on my scooter and drive around to all these different ponds, and it's amazing how there's bass, like, everywhere. I mean, you can go to these...
Right.
It's crazy, right?
I'm into urban fishing right now, and that is
awesome.
the biggest challenge. But yeah, you know the feeling, right? Like I used to do it as a kid too, and
it's great.
You know, you can understand, like, someone who has a broken mind, like this guy on the bridge. I think that he's out looking for those areas, and it doesn't matter. Like, you know the feeling of, like, you just get out and you just go.
Mm-hmm.
Looking around. There doesn't have to be a destination that you have in mind.
And so he's out there fishing for people.
Yes, and that's what earlier. That's what I was trying to, just
the hunting.
I've never been on a show talking before, but that's what I meant earlier about, just fishing.
I knew what you meant when you said hunting. You know, the thing is there's people, like, I've said hunting, and they thought I meant, like, literally out there hunting for jackrabbits or something, and I was like, no, it's for people. So I thought I would just clarify it, just so that nobody would think that that's what you meant.
Yeah. I would say that that this guy really could live very far away from Delphi.
Yep.
I think it's a good possibility.
And if that was him that got there at 8:45 in the morning, well, then he had all day to scout the area out and kind of make sure who's here and who's come here, who's left. He knew exactly what was going on, and then his opportunity to set the hook presented itself.
Yes. Yeah. What I find one other thing before I get off here is, to me, the video looks like an older man, and it seems to me like these killers generally, they will kill when they're younger. In their first kill, they will be very nervous about it, and they're panicking, and they lay low, could be several years, and then they start to become comfortable, and they've learned from their mistakes.
Right.
I just, what scratches my head is so hard to tell from the video. This guy to me looks older, which is strange to me. Any criminal, in my opinion, decides to start being a criminal at a younger age, and they're very sloppy, but they get better as time goes on. Do you think this man is older?
I think, he looks to me like he's, if I could guess, I'd say 44 years old. There you go.
Yeah, and that's a strange. I think the same thing, and that's a strange age. Like, this guy must have killed before.
Well, yeah.
I can't imagine.
It'd be weird if it was his first one. Yeah, if it was his first one, that's old. But serial killers, it's rare when they're like 20 or below. I actually looked it up one time. I think it was like 35 and older was sort of the average.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not
okay.
So when they're younger, they'll kill animals and things like that.
Yeah.
And then eventually they move up to a human. Now, they may have killed somebody in their 20s, but when they really become the prolific serial killers, they're much older than that. That's when they've got.
Yeah, maybe this guy killed someone years ago, and he's now. It just that's the biggest thing to me. It's so hard to tell from the video his age, but he appears to be an older guy, and it would really surprise me if he decided that his first murder would be in the middle of the day with two people in a very risky situation.
Yeah. So he probably, he's done it before. It could be, could be 1,000 miles away. You know, what if he was who knows why he was there or what kind of vehicle it was? You know, it was an older style vehicle. Maybe he travels around in that thing, and you know, much like a trucker type of deal. And he's just driving around, and you know, hell, maybe he's some kind of a salesperson, you know, and he just showed up there.
Yeah. Going back to the signatures, you would think that, especially the way we can share information now, that those signatures, I'm sure the law enforcement's looked into this, that they would have definitely seen those signatures in murders maybe going back to 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Well, the thing is, I think if they had the signatures, they'd be, unless it's another unsolved case.
Yeah. Do you know how quickly is there a database where signatures are filed and they can...
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. The
maybe
FBI
type
has
in the...
Yeah. Well, that's what they do have, databases like that. There's even a website, the Accountability Project, that has something similar to that. But the FBI has, I'm sure, has a massive database that's probably connected with all the different states, and probably they just bring it in and they fill it out. They fill out all the columns. Like, what was the MO of this? You know, how many people were killed? What was the age? Everything. Color of hair. Because sometimes serial killers like Bundy, he liked the brown-haired, brunette women that sort of looked like his mom, right? I think it was his mom.
Right.
Anyways, I don't remember if that was right or not, but.
Yeah, it was something to do with what did they got into, like women with
it was his girlfriend apparently. It was his girlfriend. I thought maybe his mom, but Lynette saying his girlfriend. I kind of thought girlfriend popped in my head after I said mom, so that's why I said, well, I'm not sure now.
I think that the signature is going to solve this case, and unfortunately, I think that that this guy's going to strike again. They're going to compare notes. And they're going to see this unique signature.
Who do you think's going to solve it?
Well, I think that I think that if information gets shared, whether it's in Delphi or any state across this country, that their suspect is going to be the guy. They're going to see that signature. I don't think he's going to stop doing that. Whatever act that he performs after death, I think he's going to continue to do that. I can't see. Doesn't it seem like those killers like that, even the serial killers, they never change their signatures? Now they might change their methods of killing, but they always want to go back to that final whatever they've gotten in their head that they want to do to their victims.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, right at that last part, my wife called in to say that she's heading home, but I have to take the call.
Okay.
But
all right, man. It was good talking to you. I'm going to start calling in more often.
It's good.
Appreciate everything you do, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for calling in.
Okay.
Hey, wait. What's your first name again?
Yeah, I'm Steve.
Steve. Okay, cool. All right, Steve.
And I've got hey, Gray. One more thing before you go. There's a few things here in Louisville, man. Is there an open discussion that you do some nights where we talk about? There's an interesting thing that's gone on around here I'm sure you could do the research to probably find out more about it. I've tried.
Yeah, well, do you have a case or something? Because I cover cases every night that are just random.
Yeah. This one's wild, and I've even got a friend that's a detective, and he doesn't know much about this.
Is it old?
And
how old is it?
It was a bone discovery at a park near my house. I mean, literally walking distance, and I can't.
Yeah.
Even I know 2 retired detectives that are trying to. I'm an electrician. I do work for these guys sometimes, and we talk crime, and they'll let me on a few things. They're not going to let me in on things that are, going to jeopardize the case, but they give me a little bit of information. Next time I'll call you on one of your next shows, and I'll ask you about what you think about this topic.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, man, I'll let you get back to it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate your show, brother. I'll talk to you.
All right, have a good one. Bye-bye. Yeah, so like, you know, the MOs of killers, they evolve just like the East Area rapists. They change until they find a technique that works. And, you know, the signatures, they might have a signature, and then maybe they'll change that up later to something else that fits what they want to communicate more. You know, who the hell knows, right? These people, when they create signatures, it's just sort of them expressing, they're obviously leaving something behind for people to see later. I think it'd be weird to find a signature on something, a person, unless they're absolutely just even crazier than you would imagine. In the middle of the woods, 1,000 miles in each direction, there was no chance of anybody ever finding them, and to leave a signature on there. Because you would think that a signature would be something... I think it's more for somebody to see rather than it being personal for them to put there. They want you to see what they thought. Right? Although I'm sure it does happen where it was this personal thing where, you know, they had a picture of grandma and they needed to put it on this little girl's head who represented the, you know, some weird shit like that. And they wouldn't care if anybody saw it. So that's just, it's totally crazy what's going on out there. So anyways, let me get this one. 203, you're on. 203, you got to turn down your audio. I'm sure you were listening. All right, yeah, who's this?
Yeah, no, hold on. Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. Who's this? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you got to turn down the audio in the background.
I think it's all done.
Just talk to me like you're on a phone and get rid of all the rest of the audio and everything. That's how it works. If you don't do it, then there's this long echo and it keeps repeating back and forth. Okay, so who am I speaking with here?
Elaine.
What was that?
Elaine.
Okay, Kayleen. All right. What's going on?
Well, I was just wondering, I thought it was kind of interesting where I heard recently that perhaps had been parked at the cemetery on 300. I'm not sure exactly
What
the number.
What was parked there? You're kind of breaking up a little bit. What was parked there?
So he could have been parked at the cemetery entrance, facing Mary Gerard Reserve, where they dropped, where Kelsey dropped Libby and Kelsey off.
Mm-hmm. So he walked across the water twice, or did he park at the cemetery and walk down?
Yeah, he could have been parked. He could, because if you look at the viewpoint from that, you could easily park a car. There's actually
well, I know there's actually roads in the cemetery. There you could park 100 cars.
Well, there's roads in the cemetery, but there's roads parallel to the actual road. So like where you're like using your like dot there. If you go where the blue line is,
yeah.
Actually, if you go up there, a car can actually park parallel to 300 and point towards and they can actually point towards where Kelsey dropped them off. It's actually within not very far. You can actually see the parking.
So you think maybe like the guy was sitting in a car watching people drive by, and he goes, "Oh, look, there's two girls," and then
absolutely, because here's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing that it's within a short distance, and he could have been actually parked there, seen them dropped off, and he could have had like an idea. Could have turned his car, parked, back like in the corner. Like if you go south, you're north. You go south to the cemetery. Park where like 0.25 miles from the corner of that cemetery.
For the cemetery, it's more like it's 0.36, so it's almost
it's 0.25. I think I've done it 0.25 from where the bodies are found. No,
well,
oh,
where the bodies were
you
found.
can-
I'm talking about where they got off.
Correct, great.
Well, I know
but
it's
I
correct,
think you can actually visually see down the street.
Yeah, but it's like that's pretty
If you do
far.
street,
but-
if you do street view, you can see it.
well, there isn't street view though.
Well, not here on yours, but
No, they've never done street view on Google Earth here.
Google Earth?
Unless they just added
Google
it.
Earth.
Yeah, I've never had street view. I do have a video.
Oh, I do. I have.
Well, what do you mean you have? There it doesn't exist. I've seen it.
Well, you can look down the road, like you're doing it in 2D.
Okay, I'm just telling you there's
But-
no street view. So when you said you have, now if you were there
No.
at the cemetery and you were parked, are you saying you could see all the way down to
Yeah,
really
I think-
easily,
yeah.
like who was getting out of a car, over a quarter of a mile away?
They could see a car parked, right?
Okay, and then so they would just go, "Ooh, a car's parked," and then get out of their car and then walk through the woods and do what?
Two girls could be parked. So here's the thing: if someone was a hunter and they're hunting, and they
Yeah.
know it's a school day off, and they know that lots of kids go there during the day, and they're watching, and you know, so they could actually, perhaps, I'm not saying it's for certain, but they could be hunting and see where the prey is coming in, and they kind of know the bridge, and they know, like, have the distance between where they're in the cemetery and how they can cut across, and how they can go to the south end of the bridge and wait. They might, I don't know, they might even know a different way, but they may have some kind of, they may have done it before, but I think that it was a deliberate attempt. I don't think it was random. I think the person is definitely a hunter that knows in the area how to do this. May even known Ron Logan was gone.
Yeah, I try to avoid using words like definitely this or that. You know, it's hard
Well, I mean,
it's hard to
it's
know
pretty
at
obvious
all.
that that's
Well, no, it's not
intentional,
obvious
like-
at all because just because you say it's obvious that the person's a hunter doesn't make it so. You know what I mean?
No, I didn't say that
Yeah.
he's a hunter, so, but I'm saying the person, the perpetrator could be.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with that he could be. But you said he was definitely a hunter. That's why.
Okay, so let's say he was. Okay, I'm assuming that anyone who did this was hunting people. Whether they were a hunter in a previous life and did animals, I don't know that, but it seems to me they were hunting the two girls because of the way they lured them into a trap and then took them under duress around to where they
See,
were
I don't think
killed.
they were lured into any trap. They just walked across the bridge, and the guy followed him, and then he trapped them.
Well, I mean, lure in the sense of a gun or a weapon or something. They were forced, or
Mhm.
not lured, but forced into a circumstance that they had to be controlled, like an animal would be controlled, into a circumstance where they were killed.
hmm Yeah, well, I mean, he definitely forced them. Once he got the gun, he controlled them. But I don't think
Mhm.
there was any luring whatsoever in it. I think he came over, he pulled out a gun, and he forced them to do what he wanted to do.
So
Sort of like if you pulled
the
up to, like if there was a car with people in the car,
right, but
and
the
you
word
walked
lure
up to
to
the
me-
outside of the car, and you held a gun to the person, and told them,
Yeah,
"Hey, drive
but
me somewhere."
The word lure, but Gray, what I was thinking is the word lure means that he knew premeditatedly that he was going to, you know,
Mhm.
extract them from the situation and be able to control them, which is what a hunter does.
Right, but okay, so the word lure wasn't correct. Okay, you're right. All right, so what else you got on this one?
I don't know, like, I don't think it's an out of towner. I think it's someone really familiar.
Yeah. All right. I mean, that's not a bad idea, thinking that maybe there was a car parked there. I haven't heard any witnesses talking about a vehicle that was parked there or anything like that. That hasn't been put out there. That's just kind of a theory, right?
Well, yeah. So everyone has a theory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can see what
Right.
you're saying. Like they're watching the car drive by, and maybe happen to glance and see that there was two
Possibly,
little girls.
right. Possibly doing that.
That there was
right?
two little girls in the car and it drove by, and then he watched the car
Well, there were a lot-
stop.
I mean,
and then he.
supposedly, I
What
mean,
did
I've
he
heard
do
a
then,
lot
though?
of-
Once he saw the car
I've heard
pull
a
up.
lot of information, Gray, about.
I'm done. I gotta get out of that call. Who's the next one here? Let's see. 574. You're on. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? You got-
What's going on? What's going on?
Who's this?
Who's this?
Hello?
Yeah, who's this?
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got you on hold
Oh,
here.
this is...
Who is this?
Oh, okay, this is Jimmy. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. What do you got?
You're what flannel shirts guy's brother?
No. No, because
I mean, but
how do you know
I'm
what
not
the?
being, like, I'm not.
Well, look, I'm listen.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just gonna get out of here. This guy was talking about the flannel shirt guy too. All right. Man, the calls were so great until the last two, and then it just all went to hell. I mean, it's amazing that people wait on hold that long. You know. I've had the last caller before this one has called before, and it was exactly the same way. It's almost like a schedule that they're on. Yeah, and the way you can get hung up on really quick is if I'm in the middle of having a sentence and you just keep interrupting over and over and over again. It's just not going to work out for you. That's unfortunate, but you know, it's my show and that's how it works. All right. I'm not sure what this guy. What's going on? I'm not sure what you're talking about. What the mods should and shouldn't delete. Nah, I'm not going to. Yeah, like if somebody has if you're in here accusing family members and whatnot, then your comments will be deleted. Okay? I've already explained that. Thanks, Lee D. See, what's weird is from your perspective, you probably think, God, Gray was so mean, right? That I was mean to that caller. But I don't think that at all. You know, she's called before, same crap every time. It's just, you know, says something that's inaccurate, you fix it, and then she keeps saying it, and then you try to point out what are the flaws. So this guy over here, he's sitting in a car and he sees a car parked there. What did he do now? Walk this way, or did he cut down and go like this, or did he cross here, go back over the bridge? And you know, what did he do at that point? See, what it is you just get the Delphi nights, and you know, 10% of the callers are a little crazy. Yeah, but you get up above, oh my, and different comments like that. It's like, let me see. So during that exchange, we have, oh dear, uh-oh, wow, oh my, thank you, caller, thanks, OFF, yikes. Okay. Well, guess what, everybody? I'm not going to be any different on the next time if somebody's exactly the same. So I'm going to be exactly the same. Yeah, maybe that's unfortunate for some of you, but not for me. I like it. Bum, 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 bum. Well, we got 19 more minutes for some more crazy callers. Yeah, and you know, also too, this is a Ron Logan free zone. You cannot accuse Ron Logan or family members. Ron Logan has nothing to do with it. If you think that the guy on the bridge looks like Ron Logan, you should have a lobotomy, okay? And or just quit looking at true crime altogether, because it means that your vision is absolutely terrible and you're not helping anybody. He's also 70-something years old. Hello? Yeah, Carter's more like I'm sure he gets little updates here and there, but he doesn't know the nitty-gritty details, I would imagine. I think like someone like Jerry Holman probably knows every single aspect of the case. Ives probably knew a lot about it when he was there, but I'm sure they've developed a lot more intel after he left. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, so there's things like that. Okay, now you can talk about Thomas Bruce, or you throw comments like that in there, I don't care, He's already arrested for something else. If you type in Garrett Kurtz, those comments shouldn't be deleted or anything like that. Anyways, looks like all the callers, I even kind of tried to get through another call to get to these other calls, and then they turn out to be just... So, anyways, I've shut down the calls anyways. So. That's enough. We'll just leave it on a good note that there was better callers at the beginning. So, hold on a second. Yeah, I had to explain the blue situation. For the... what? What are you referring to, Cindy? Case will never be solved because the culprit is probably in jail. I don't think so. I heard people say he probably died of COVID. I mean, come on. The percentage of people dying from that is really low, and that's of the people who catch it, and not everybody catches it. So it's like, come on. What would make you think he's in and if he's already in prison, why wouldn't he be caught then? Are you saying because they don't have a very good DNA sample, and therefore he won't commit another crime, leading to him being caught? Maybe. Yeah, it's definitely... I don't know. I think if he'd been arrested, it would be for something similar, and they would have already known they would have linked it. You know, anything that would put him in jail for a long period of time would be something bad. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't have the phone lines open anymore because it's already been 3 hours and almost 3 hours, and I did another hour and 30 minutes earlier. Oh yeah. Probably watching Nancy Grace. Yeah, I mean, just based on what happened, I think he's a serial killer-like person. Whether he has the prerequisite number of kills, I don't know. But if he is older, you'd think he would have done some other crimes prior. Perhaps he merely performed the sexual part of it on other cases and never actually murdered anybody. And therefore, they haven't really been linked yet. Maybe there hasn't, it's been 4 years, so, if he's still out there and he thinks that way, he might be getting itchy now at this point. And when they say they think he's from Delphi or once lived there, that makes you think that they don't know who he is. Because why would they say, wouldn't they just say, we think he's lives in Delphi. Boom, that would be it. So, anyways, and here's the thing, everybody. If you don't like the way I do my show, if you think, gosh, Gray, you're so mean, then don't watch, okay? I'm giving you a warning. I put a message at the beginning of the show. Do not watch the show. Watch another show. Unsubscribe immediately if you're triggered and you get offended when I just try to keep everything reasonable and up and up. Okay, I know it's not cool, it's not neato, it's not like, oh wow, Gray, it's not really fun because you don't talk. Well, I do this because I want to try to make a difference, right? And we do that no matter what at the end of each month by contributing to important charities like RAIN, which is Violence Against Women, NCMEC, we've given the Abby and Libby Fund, and so many more, Innocence Project. So we make a difference no matter what, but I actually try to make a difference. Oh yeah, I'm totally against collaborating with that guy. The Chris Watts over and over and over and over guy. It just, yikes. Yeah, I can't stand that guy. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Who the hell wants to, I don't want to hear what a defense attorney has to say about a case. It's like, I'd rather be on the prosecution side. I'm sure he's a cool guy and everything. I'm just not into it. Let's see. Awesome. Yeah, but for those of you out there who like the way I do the show, make sure to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. Okay? And it's pretty easy. You just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because we cover all kinds of cases. Barry Morphew, I think he did it. I've always thought he did it, but we weren't 100% sure. I always thought it was suspicious that he put $200,000 up so quick, almost like he knew that he had no chance of losing it. But man, boy, that case has been milked. I call it like the gold rush of YouTube. Whenever there's a case, like the Gannon Stout, now we got Summer Wells, the Barry Morphew. You got these certain YouTube channels who only cover that case until they've panned every single flake of gold out of that creek, okay? And they do it every day, over and over and over again, until every morsel of gold, meaning subs and likes and views, is mined from that. Sub-mining, okay? Now, I cover this case. You might go, well, hey, Gray, aren't you doing that with Delphi? No, I'm not. I just do this every Sunday, and I cover, during the week, all the other cases. I'm in the creek where there's nothing. There's no gold in it. Okay? I'm in there with a pan, swishing it around, and there isn't a damn thing, because it doesn't really matter if there's any gold in the pan. It's that you went to the creek, okay? And you got the name of the creek out there. God, those such great analogies, man. I should start a business. Huh? Who was the lady? What does that even mean, Rebecca? Man. It's funny how people think everybody's supposed to know what somebody's talking about without really a full sentence. Thanks, Ellen. Yeah. And here's how you can tell too. Go to one of these channels that covers. They still cover watts because they look and they saw that when they cover just a random case. I have the same deal too. I might only have 2,500 to 3,000 views on a normal night of a case, talking about a cold case from 1967 that's unsolved, and we map it all out and go through it. Okay, might only have that. But when I do a Delphi night, maybe I have 6,000 or 7,000 views. Why it's like that, I don't know. I don't know why people are only interested in one crime. I mean, there's so many out there that deserve the same attention, and I try to bring attention to even cases that have almost nothing. If there is even just one little article and a mention, why not mention it? At least they got a name out there somewhere. You never know. Have I done Summer Wells? Of course. Yeah. I was covering it right at the beginning. And then I quit covering it once it turned into a gold rush. I'll do an update if there's an actual update, that kind of thing. I also took the video of Summer Wells and swimming, and I stabilized it so that it's all upright and much easier to follow when you're looking at it, to see if anybody can see anything. Yeah, there's just tons and tons of missing people, It just never ends. I think missing people are cold cases, same thing. Well, yeah, you just said it. You just mentioned everything, Zozo. I think what I think in the Summer Wells case is that something happened accidentally at the property, and Candace and the mother, and they all covered it up before Dawn even got home. And so Dawn's in a weird position because they haven't really told Dawn what they did, but they just drove her somewhere. They don't have cell phones, really. I mean, they have cell phones, but I doubt she would have brought it with her. Probably threw her body in the woods somewhere, like 40 miles away. Came back home. Dawn shows up. Oh my God, she disappeared. And then, but she called 911 at a certain time to make it look like that. There was a lot of time between the time they got home and the 911 call. Plenty of time. I think something accidentally happened. Hell, maybe it even involved the swing that she seemed to accidentally bring up in a conversation. But that's kind of where I am with that one. I don't know. I'm not saying somebody intentionally killed her or that she was abducted or anything like that. I never said Kurtz was a definite no. seems like they would be completely onto the guy at this point. Hey, he's an interesting person. He knows Ron Logan. He's killed 2 people. And kind of has a similar look to the original sketch. Huh? What are you talking about? What's Kanika got to do with anything? Yeah, I've never ruled out Kurtz. I just... Why are they going through all these other things if he's the suspect? I mean, it's interesting that they haven't done any press conferences. Right? I remember Kurtz said on one Facebook post that he was... police were interested in him. They said he like raped a 13 or 14-year-old girl, and that's literally on his Facebook page in a post that he made. I've seen it, so that was sort of interesting. But you know, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I'm just not that interested in Kurtz. I've watched some of those videos that one YouTuber interviewed him, and he didn't say anything in there that I thought was like, oh my God, that's so incriminating. And you can twist things around and make it look like he said this or that. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we've said multiple times, William. Elizabeth in Lyric case would be popular had there been video and audio of the killer, but nobody talks about that one because it doesn't have the elements that make it a real true crime whodunit. You know, for example, in the Wells case, I think if Candace Wells didn't have so many videos on social media or that swimming video of that day, and it was just literally there was a missing person, nobody would be talking about it over and over and over. They all act like, oh, we just care so much. I love that little girl. Well, I mean, you know, everybody as human beings care about somebody being killed, but when you start using words like I love that person, that little girl, when you don't even know them at all, that's when they've gone overboard a little bit. Okay? Hopefully you just want to find justice for her. That makes the most sense. But like literally going, oh, I had chills. I haven't slept for 8 nights in a row, man. I haven't slept for 8 nights. Well, my first advice is you should get the hell out of the true crime genre. And secondly is, man, I hope you have the same sort of feelings for your own family members. And thirdly, I mean, just take a break. I mean, you're way too far into it. You know, the people who post the images with angel wings and like they'll take the picture of a victim and put angel wings and have them flying out. Run for the hills when you see that shit, because as soon as you see that, what it really is a competition. The person who posts it first, they love oh, that's such a thoughtful, great image. Oh, that's so, oh, I love it. And then somebody else posts one, and then it's like, hey, that was me. I'm supposed to be able to do that. I'm supposed to post those. And it becomes this competition of who can make the most ridiculous image possible. I mean, go up and look at the Facebook pages on the Jodi Arias case. Oh God, it's scary, man. They had Travis flying in the air with angel wings with Juan Martinez right next to him and Jesus right in the middle of him. I mean, how disgusting is that? Give me a break, okay? Yeah, it's definitely a competition. Who cares the most? You know what? I cover crime because I want to figure out the answers and try to help in some way. Okay? That's why I made the video where I stabilize the rotation. If that could help somebody notice something, who knows? But you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, good. All right. So if you ever join a Facebook group related to a crime, avoid the posts that ever have one of those images that I just mentioned. Because if you say anything like, what is this? What's this doing? What is this helping? Oh my God. You're going to have the sound and fury on you. Just literally just everybody. And they'll passive aggressively attack you and make it seem like it's your fault. Yeah. It'd be like this. I put 3. Well, I put 4 then, Gray. Well, I'm gonna do 5. That's how it is with those images.
Gosh, Gray, maybe they just felt really bad and wanted to make an image. Gee!
Okay, do that on your own. How about this? Make an image, frame it, put it on your wall, and think about that crime as you cry for 8 days and don't eat. You know, I just figured out something. Maybe these people follow true crime as sort of almost a weight loss measure. Because for 8 days, they haven't been able to eat and have cried. Maybe they'll come up with some sort of a regime of some sort. I mean, you got to admit, like, nobody out there thinks that that's legit, right? When somebody goes, oh, I haven't slept in days thinking about this case. I mean, I'd love to see a camera on that bed. You know, like the camera's panning around slowly, zooms in on the bed, and the person's going, oh my God, like 4 in the morning. Okay? Yeah, that's weird at that point. Weird. Yeah. Now, every one of us feels bad for a victim, right? Like everyone goes, God, that sucks. And when I allow myself to go there, and in the Libby and Abby case, I think to myself how horrific that would have been for them, and I can feel it because I've had moments in my life where I felt just like they did, except it got better and it doesn't for them. So we all feel those things. But if you literally can't sleep for days and you get chills and all these other things that we read, you shouldn't be anywhere near true crime because you're not helping at all, okay? I think people say that because they want people to think, just like those images, that they care more. It's virtue signaling, okay? They care so much more than you, so everybody turn to them, because when they look something up, it's from a place of caring so much that their information is going to be the most accurate thing that you've ever seen. Can I get an amen? Hey, listen, every one of you knows that what I just said is true. Okay? It's honest to God true. And if you don't agree with what I just said, that's good, but you're wrong. It absolutely is the way it is. Unbelievable shit. Okay. All right. I think that's what sort of frustrates me a lot. Because you go to some of these channels that, they put out less than accurate information. And then you see people in the comments saying stuff like, oh my God, my heart is aching. I've got chills. And then you think, wow, so those are the people that got suckered in by that information. Wow, unbelievable. Hey, Amy D. Good to see you. All right. Well, right here you're going to get the no spin zone. As I think was that Bill O'Reilly? I can't remember. I'm going to tell you exactly the reality. The no chill zone. Now we all get upset, right? On cases. That's not what I'm saying. A lot of people in the chat will say, "Oh my God, that's heartbreaking." Yeah, it is, right? No, but some people say that, Kit, like it's heartbreaking. I get what you're saying. But they might say, "Oh my God, that's heartbreaking." Like, you picture what it's like for the mom, so you say that, right? But then there's this whole other level that people get to, where they want everybody to look at them as this very just in tune, almost so empathetic that they are beyond reproach, that they are, you know what I'm saying. It is Zozo, isn't it? It's crazy. Yeah, you remember all those people, Wade? I mean, how many people have you heard say that? Well, he probably died of COVID out in the woods somewhere. How did he catch COVID then? Well, that's a good point, but yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah, isn't that the worst, Dana? Yeah. It's fake. If you guys ever see me crying on a case, it's going to be something real serious. But you probably won't. There's times where I get, I feel emotional. Like, oh, wow. Like at a press conference when you watch a mom or a boyfriend whose girlfriend was just murdered, or something. That's, yeah. How can you not feel something for somebody like that? Well, I'll be, maybe tears of joy, Lynette, maybe. I don't really know, though. I've never actually had tears of joy. and I've been joyous. I just... Yeah, people are weird. They, like, Kelsey is just, I feel like she's just a friend of mine. Right? Like, the thing is I met her I think I had communicated with her somewhere online, just through the case or something. And then I met her at CrimeCon in 2019. And, well, I think she knew who I was through Becky, actually. But then I met her at CrimeCon in New Orleans. And then I just said, hey, why don't you sit down and run the show for a little bit? And it was cool because that's the moment she met Turney. Sarah Turney, I think. And that's when they met. And she interviewed her, and it was cool. So I thought, wow. So I sort of hooked her up with the microphone and all that stuff. And she seemed like she might like to stream and tell her story. And, she hasn't really done that much, but, so what? Seemed like she was having fun there. And there you go. I mean, sometimes people just do things for people, right? I mean, that does happen. I could see crying for birth of a son or something like that. I could definitely see that. Yeah, like you don't have to delete that comment that Camille just put in there. I mean, I just don't have, just tell them to, like stuff like that. I know it's unrelated, but just tell them, hey, send them an email or something. Yeah, Kelsey's just, it's been kind of interesting to watch her over the years. At first, she was so shy. Her face would turn beet red on any interview whatsoever. And then she became like a pro. I mean, she's like on all these big shows, and that it just completely went away. She's totally confident now. Doesn't have any problem at all talking. And it's interesting how, strangely, the death of Libby changed her into a different person too. And she made the best of it, So it's kind of neat that at least it turned her into a way more confident, outgoing person, and will definitely change her life. So it sort of honors Libby in that way. Yeah, there's a video I have. If you guys go look it up, it was just type in like Grant Hughes, Kelsey CrimeCon or something, and there she is. I'm sitting right next to John Lorden and Danielle Hallen over there, and Morph you can't see, but he's to my left. Yeah, well, hopefully they'll be at the Las Vegas CrimeCon. Huh, I must have missed something. Did somebody send me a super chat that I missed? Probably. It's probably next year in May or something. Oh, thank you to D&K Reck and William on PayPal there. Oh, and William again on PayPal. Thank you. Appreciate it. Very generous. Huh, must have missed some of these at the end. So what else? Any last thoughts for the night, everybody? Okay, so I'll do one more PSA in here. If you believe Sandy Hook is fake, go and unsubscribe immediately. Also, this is my personality. If you don't like it, don't watch. I'm sorry if I've offended you in the past, but just realize that this is just kind of the way I am. All right? What happened, Jennifer? What happened? You okay? Right, so this is just who I am, and if you can't deal with it, then don't watch. Simple. Oh yeah, Sandy Hook, yeah. Well, I bring it up because there's people that literally still think it's fake. We even lost a channel member because they went,
"Oh God, I thought it was Gray. It's real. It's fake, man. That's a fake thing."
Okay, get the hell out of here. Right? It's easy. Remember that? Wow. Unbelievable. Whatever happened to Rebecca N, though? I haven't seen her in a long time. I messaged her a while ago. I haven't seen Andrea Ruggiero Drum or Jay Case. Are you out there, Jay Case? What's going on, Jay? Yeah, just so mean. Yeah, Sandy looks awful. I mean, just... Oh, that's right. That's right. She met somebody. We were only important to her when... I'm just kidding. Hey, thanks, Angela Vincent. I forgot. That's right. That was the answer. I didn't hurt their feelings. What are you talking about, Mandy? I never hurt Jay's feelings. Jay's always on here, and then I just haven't seen him in a while. Thanks for letting me know about the video on this. Yeah, so if you're a channel member, make sure to go watch the interview that I did earlier with Melissa Chappelle. Well, a lot of times I have them on hold, and I can tell. Well, hey, Mandy, then put a little LOL or something in there. Nobody knows if you're joking or not. So don't be so dumb, okay? Thanks. Don't be so sensitive. What the hell are you talking about? You know, that's what you typed in. Oh, and by the way, earlier, I had a little bit of girl code action. Somebody said, hey, they said it's late. The show's kind of late on the E, and just typed in EA, and I was immediately knew that it was East Coast. See, women can communicate like that with like 2 letters here, 1 letter there, 1 there, boom, 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 and you guys got it nailed in. Hey, thanks, Illa Howard. Come on, Mandy, just type in LOL, okay? You got it. I'm not being sensitive. But all you did was typed in exactly what you typed in exactly what you typed in with no hint of sarcasm or anything. It was just... And no, I don't really think you're dumb. I was just coming on your sensitive comment. Okay. Jeez. Can't you just tell that I'm joking? Can't you just tell, Mandy, that I'm joking? I mean, I wouldn't really think that. I mean, you should just know, Mandy. Yeah, I guess so. Oh, you just heard a gunshot? Oh. No problem, Mandy. No big deal. We're all on a new page already. It doesn't even matter at all. 2 minutes from now, you'll be the greatest person on the planet. Yeah. Yeah, that one does have a lot of stuff going on. I think that it's like there's 3 people. The most likely person seems to be the stepdad of the first girlfriend, right? Ex-girlfriend. All right, so you guys, I'm ready to go now. Thanks. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Hope you guys found the show interesting. It was good to see that one press conference again. And, with the sketch, did a few calls. Sure. Oh yeah, by the way, make sure to hit that like button, alright? Hit that like button. Hit the like button, 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 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, hit the like button, 20, 30, 40, 50, hit that like button.
30, 30, now 5, I'm 30.
Bitch, please. Okay, bye.
Chewbacca?
Oh, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Thank you to Kathy Friday Maker, Carrie Witherspoon, Angela Vincent, the legendary Angela Vincent, Susie Heat, Tracy, Ang Texcow, Miss Cakes, Carrie Witherspoon, Rita Schaefer, Miss Marple, Cindy Leon, Claude Spence, Carrie Witherspoon, Christine Falk, Lynette Burns, George Leonard, Cindy Leon, Shogun Love, Connie Lee, LM, Angel Bear, Connie Lee, Kathy Friday Maker, Kim F. Sharp Hart, JD, LM, Rita Schaefer, B. Holder, Jessica Schubach, Becky Holder that had a vomit face yet again, Gary Witherspoon, Kit Kat, Susie Heat, Shogun Law, Courtney Robb, Linda Howe, as in Linda Bolden Howe of the cattle mutilations in crop circles, Lee D, Nathan David, Foxtrot, D&K Reck, LN.
All right, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Guess we'll see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, as I always say, everybody. Well, actually, let's. I hope we can get the dang Delphi case solved soon. Okay. I mean, I just want it over to get resolution to the family and to stop all the absurd, secondarily, information that's out there. So, got to get it solved, and then it stops all the craziness that's out there. Okay? All right, everybody. Thank you very much. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Oh, and thanks, mods, for all that you do. I know these Delphi nights are particularly active for you guys, so thank you guys very much. All right. So, and that being said, until next time, be safe out there. Woohoo! Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grader's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor. Call me a little specter with a vector on his specter. With all respect, y'all, just remember I have a typical injection. I have no agenda, I'm a pretender, and I'll give it to you straight without a bender. And in the end, I'm gonna send you on a mission to reveal the offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you. Hello? Who the hell's calling? The show's over.
Well, I wanted to call, Gray. I wanted to call. Is it possible that the car was parked at the McDonald's and then he took an Uber into town and parked it over by the cemetery?
Oh my god, a troll at the last second. You know, it sounded an awful like Mary Lou. What do you guys think?
I'm still here, Gray. I'm not Mary Lou. I do sound a lot like her, though, don't I?
Gray, I think that is Mary Lou. I can tell by her digital fingerprint.
Hey, shut up, Timmy.
No, I'm helping Gray. You are a troll. You are a troll.
Gosh, Timmy, you're so mean.
Wait, how'd you know that was Timmy then? If you're not Mary Lou.
Oh yeah, good point.
Busted! How in the hell did Mary Lou know that was Timmy?
All right, give me another shot. I've heard other shows of yours, and heard what Timmy said. I'll forget it. Gosh, Gray, you're so mean. You really are great. Even that one time when I called it.
Oh my god, Mary Lou, you're having a conniption fit, as my mom would say.
I called in. When I was a kid, losing somebody being the killer, and he got so mad at me.
Oh my god. Yikes.
Hey, Gray, listen, I heard that the signatures are why do you think there's a local person?
Wait, why are you crying just telling me that?
Because you were so mean to the other person who said that.
Oh my god, don't you think that Mary Lou's losing it, man? Yeah, my mom would say conniption fit, or what was the other one? Apoplectic, which actually means to fold away. If you look up the morphemes.
Good, Gray, when you're not a bank control on my food, but I don't eat it. I do it, I pass it, I repeat it.
Mary Lou is having a digital breakdown, down. Shouted who out? I never shouted you out. Never mentioned you. I don't even know who you are.
Aha! Cleanery in the sin. That's a backwards random invention. Something Rather holding me tightly, flows like a harpoon, daily and nightly. Will it ever stop, y'all? I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow to the extreme. I rock the mic like a vandal, light up the stage and rock the trump like a candle. Dance, cause the speakers that boom, killing your brain like a poisonous mushroom. Deadly, wanna play a dope melody, anything less than the best is a felony. Love it, leave it, better get away, better hit bowls or the kid don't play. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook when my DJ revolves it. The party is jumping, with the bass kicked in and the Vegas are pumping. Quick to the point, cause the point no faking. Cooking MCs like a pound of bacon. Burn it on, being quick and nimble. Little crazy when they hear the cymbal at a hi-hat with a souped up tempo.
I'm on a roll, time to go solo.
Rolling in my 5.0 with a racked up down so the hair can blow. This is on standby, waiting just to say hi. This is our bow, just rolled on, kept on. There's someone to the next stop. Another left line headed to the next block. Fuck the jet, y'all. So continue to A1A. Detroit Avenue. Girls wear hot, wearing less than bikinis. Rock men, logos, run my bikini. Jealous, cause I'm out getting mine. Shade with a gate in the middle of the line. Gunshots, ranged out like a bell. I grabbed my knife. Hey, it's gonna stop again. I was right in the middle of it. Great, gee. Cool.
Well, you could have kept going until the music stopped.
But I always hate it when it just cuts me right off, you know?
You sound a lot like a diva.
Take heed, some lyrical poet. Miami's on the scene, just in case I didn't know it. My town, decorated on the bass sound. I'll never shake, kick holes in the ground, cause my style's like a chemical spill. These are rhymes you can vision and feel. Conducted and formed, such a hell of a concept. Make a hype, then you wanna see princes. Shade plays on the face, such like a ninja. Cut like a razor blade so fast. All the DJs say damn, if I rhyme to a drug, I'd sell a gram. Keep my composure, else time to get loose. Magnetized by the mic while I kick my juice. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook where my DJ revolves it. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. M-A-S-T-E-R, a G with a double E. I said a full-body, unforgettable name. Oh, the man I call a Master G. Well, my name is known all over the world by all the foxy ladies and the pretty girls. Going down in history as the baddest brother there ever could be. Now I'm feeling the highs and I'm feeling the lows. Beat thoughts getting into your toes. You start popping your fingers and stamping your feet, moving your body and you're sitting and you're sitting. Said damn, you start doing the freak. I said damn, right out of your seat. Then you throw your hands high in the air. You're rocking to the beat, singing Derrick. You're rocking to the beat without a care. With the shoulder side MCs for the affair. Now I'm not as tall as the rest of the game, but I can rap to the beat just the same. Got a little face and a pair of brown eyes. I'm a credit to the ladies, hypnotized. On and on and on, on and on. The beat don't stop until the break of dawn. Sitting on and on and on, on and on, like a hot diddy pop, pop, diddy diddy pop, pop, pop. You don't dare stop it, come alive, yo. Give me what you got, cause I'm guaranteed to make you stop. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell me one, the mark. What are you waiting for? Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding.
Word to your mother.
Here's a little story that I got to tell about 3 bad brothers you know so well. Started way back in history with that Rock, MCA, and me, Mike D. But had a little horse, his name was Paul Revere. Me and my horsey and a quart of beer, run across the land, picking up sand, sheriff posse on my tail, cause I'm in demand. One lonely beastie I'd be, well, I myself without no party. Someone's beating down on my baseball hat. It was getting hot, the beer was getting flat. Looking for a girl, I ran into a guy. His name was MTA. I said hi, he said hi. Drove a little scary, the son of a rehearsed. 4 days on the run and that is dying of thirst. Food was in my hand, and he was on the tip. His horses always rose right, he asked me for a sip. He said, can I get some? I said, you can get none. Not a chance to run, pulled a shotgun. Quickly on the draw, thought I'd be dead. Put that gun through my head, and this is what he said. My name was MCA, I got a license to kill. I hope you know what time it is, it's time to get ill. Now what do we have here?
I don't know this beer.
I run this land, you understand, I make myself clear.
What the heck was that, man? You took over my mic.
I'm on the run, the cop got my gun. Right about now it's time to have some fun. The King Ad Rock, that is my name, and I know the fine spot where they got the champagne. So we rode for 6 hours and we hit the spot. Dude was moving and the dude was hot. The dude was standing like he knows who we are. We took the empty spot next to him at the bar. Yippee-yo, you know this kid? I said I did, but I know he did. Kid said get ready, this ain't funny. My name's Mike D and I'm about to get money. Pulled out the jammy, aimed it at the sky, and let two fly. Wasted 2 kids, ran for the door. I'm Mike D and I get respect. Your cash in your jewelry is what I expect. MCA was with it, and he's my ace. So I grabbed a piano player and I'll punch him in the face. Piano player's out, music stopped. Boy had 8 and he got dropped. Mike D grabbed the money, MCA grabbed the gold. Grabbed 2 girls and a beer, that's all.
You fill up my senses like a night. Hey, listen.
Mary Lou, stick to rapping, okay? We don't need any John Denver. I don't think people were looking for John Denver with you right there. Woo! Boy. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. You know,
Hey, Gray, what do you mean you don't like me singing? You fill up my senses like a night in the forest.
yeah, no, nobody likes that. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.